Hmm?
Well, it would have been interesting to.
Tommy does impressions of everyone.
Yeah. I have to go back in and just spend the whole night just, I'm Francis.
Overdubbing.
Oh,
Overdubbing.
oh Lord. Just
Oh, Lord.
just 3 hours of oh Lords. Everyone is
Oh,
Francis. What's going on, guys? We are back for the next session of Lordly Caliber. Disclaimer to everyone in this party who is not Van or Sarah. In between the last session and this one, there was a one-on-one that took place between Emeritus and myself. It was a nightmare to edit because new noise gate who dis, but it's edited and it's in the process of uploading. It's going to go up on YouTube before this does, but there may be some things that people in the party are not privy to, and it is not up to me to share them. Before we get down to business, quick plug here. I don't do it as often as I should, but we are today, and we are evermore joined by Kane, and we are joined by Colin, and they are not from here. They are from Canada and Chicago, and also the Inn of Planar Crossroads. If you guys could, real quick, there's a card right here. Click that. Go over there. Like their stuff, subscribe to their stuff, watch me play a socially awkward orc. Maybe somebody gets pregnant, we'll have to see.
Oh.
And of course,
I see Sarah hasn't been watching along.
Shame.
Well, Tommy told me everything that happened.
Tommy told her everything
Sarah
that happened
knows.
right after it happened because I
Sarah
have a lot of
knows.
feels. So many feels. And of course, guys, we do still have the Doomsday Dawn giveaway running. If we can get up to 150 $150, give or take, on Patreon by the 2nd of July, I will run you and 5 of your fellow subscribers through the first published content of Pathfinder 2nd Edition.
Woo!
As always, our Patreon link is in the description if you'd like to help us out. Over the past week, we have now 2 patrons who I don't know in real life or have an association with on a YouTube channel, so that feels sweet. But enough about that. We're already late. Let's go find a D6 in character reflection. One of these in character reflections will be very different than everybody else's.
Who, me?
Who you? Sarah, you are a 6. And I roll a 5. Kane, Francis has the floor in character reflection for that hero point.
Shit. What happened last week? I was here, but I don't remember.
Well,
We're going to Casimir.
and lots of chickens. That's the
Yes,
one.
and lots
That's
of
the only
chickens.
thing
I
I'm bringing back.
wasn't here for the chicken. I wasn't here for the chicken bit, but I do remember we were talking about Casimir. Or the other place, but we didn't want to go to the other place because it was too heavily guarded, and I think we should go to Casimir because Casimir has the best number of contacts available. I don't know if I can talk to the druids there, but well, I mean, there's not really a whole way to motivate a circle of druids into doing anything. Unless you can, provide that there's some sort of invasion of aberrations, undead or otherworldly and natural things. So, I mean, maybe I could try to try talking to them, but I'm not sure it's going to do us any good. But we do have all of Pog's potential supposed contacts in Casimir, and it's not as heavily guarded. And there's also that question someone brought up earlier about why hasn't their navy just sort of blown us out of the water yet? Given that Casimir is what you said was a port town.
It's the biggest port settlement and naval production center in the entire empire.
So I'm curious about that.
We are in a desert.
Yeah, there's too much sand. They don't have those sand boats you guys were talking about like 10 sessions ago when we spent 45 minutes talking about sand boats. Anyway, good enough for me, Kane. You take that hero point. And divs are evil outsiders. They probably count for pissing off a druid, I imagine. They don't count for aberrations and stuff, but I imagine the druid is still salty about it. Anyway.
Well, I don't know, because they want to destroy human accomplishments, right? And that means bringing down civilization, which, druids might not necessarily be against that.
The druids are all actually on the bad guy's side. Van, you have the floor in character reflection for that hero point.
Well, I think that where we are now, first thing to do is to bring down Taldor, and the realization last time that we were that divs were created from people and force fed bad stuff and whatever that before Pogue left the capital, the reason he left was because there were other courtesans who were disappearing, and he wondered where they were going to, and he heard that he was next, and so kind of made a run for it. And now maybe he's putting some pieces together. Like, he was already mad at the Emperor, but now maybe even a little bit more personal. He's looking forward to going back to his adopted home of Casimir, where he escaped to as a young lad from Cheliax, where he was a slave, and sort of those were his formative years before moving to the capital for his career as a courtesan. His short-lived career, about 5 years. So he thinks he's got a plan, because he knows that Nira's family lives up the river from Casimir, and so he wants to bring her armor back, and thinks that maybe he can get the help of the gnomes and stuff in fomenting unrest. So he feel confident that there's a good way to go that way, but not so sure about the Kadiran capital. So,
Alrighty, fair enough. Take your hero points, sir, and here's the D6. We go. And Kane already went. But Colin hasn't. Alright, Zandu, lay it on us for the hero point.
Well, that didn't go nearly as planned. I think I snapped her back to reality a little bit too hard. I hope when Enderling wakes up, he's not too pissed off, because there might be a way I could go about this in a more gradual manner that could help, but it would take some thought and some time to figure out how exactly to do that. In the meantime, man, it's rough. I'm worried about Emmy, because I was in her dreamscape, and the spell was supposed to take me straight to where she was, but she wasn't there. There was no one there, and I was starting to disappear. I'm wondering if there's a possibility that she just was trapped in there and blinked out of existence, but I don't know what to do, but I do know that before I go back, I have to get stronger. So that's my goal. I gotta practice. I gotta get stronger and not die in the meantime.
So what I'm hearing for the big vote here is Zandu doesn't care where it is we go. He just needs to level up between here and there. Duly noted, take your hero point.
Oh, he cares because he doesn't want to die.
Fair enough. He cares just enough for his self-preservation. I digress. Joe, Enderling has the floor.
I think he BRB'd.
Well, fine. I think that means so it's Donald or Sarah. Evens Donald, odds Sarah. Okay, Donald, you got it.
Okay, I need Sarah to play a Yarva for me for this scene.
You heard him.
Okay.
Yarva, I am going away for some time with my group to Casimir. I need you to keep strong. And do you remember the advice I told you about your condition? I need you to try to maintain your feeding habit as much as possible, so you do not lose yourself with your current condition.
To bring Sarah up to speed. To bring Sarah up to speed. She hasn't watched the episode before. Yarva, he accidentally cut his arm off practicing, and his skeletal arm grew back, and now he likes eating rotting flesh and dead stuff, and he tried to eat Lucio, and Lucio gave him a hug once. It's real bad.
Oh, okay.
So he can't go to the Cracker Barrel anymore unless the Cracker Barrel serves corpses.
Yeah.
All right. I can stay here. I don't know how to do a Yarva voice.
You gotta talk like this, comrade. You got to think you're some kind of Russian.
He was the Russian
for like
one.
2 sessions, yes.
Okay, I'll stay here.
I made some notes for you how to maintain your feeding habits to be as normal as you can. And in case of anything evil comes to attack you, I present her the +1 Holy Warhammer. Use this to.
Aren't we selling it? Wait a minute. Hold up.
Keeping it for your.
No.
I definitely thought we were selling
Wait.
it.
No.
No,
The answer is no.
Yeah, we're selling it.
Okay,
It's
fine.
fine.
Oh, okay. I thought
Sorry,
I
Conrad.
have it.
It's alright.
Yover can't
I
do
don't
it.
want
Yover
it.
can't use it. He's a sorcerer.
He has
yeah,
one warrior level. He's proficient.
Yeah. Yeah, he's proficient with it.
I thought warriors were only proficient in one martial weapon.
Maybe it's Warhammers now.
Yeah, Warhammer the martial weapon.
He's undead.
But no, one that they could choose.
Right.
Yeah,
So he's
it would-
undead, and it's a holy weapon. It will kill him.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that's an important distinction.
Holy.
Yeah,
Wait,
no. I don't want it.
Wait.
I don't want it, comrade.
He grabs it with
Okay,
his strong hand and it falls
okay,
away.
Do not touch me with it.
Okay, we rewind. I forgot he was undead. I thought he just had undead traits only.
It's complicated.
Okay, so
So undead traits only are still kind of not good. You know, eating people. So
okay,
do you
so
really want to let Warhammer decide?
okay, so
Do you want
Okay.
Pogue to put the hammer down?
yeah, just sell it anyway. So getting back to the scene, Yarva, I do worry about you. I do have some notes how you can maintain your current diet, so you are not going to starve. And I give him a good amount of coin, about 50 gold, so he doesn't die from hunger.
So he can buy corpses.
Thank you, comrade. Comrade goes bing.
Yes. Do not waste all that. I want you to practice your arcane arts, so you can master it. And I hug him before going off.
He does try to bite you again.
I do want you to practice your martial arts still.
He's taking
and your
rank
magic.
level as well.
Yeah, I mean it would be fighter's weapon effectively.
Fair
So
enough.
yeah.
All right, so take that hero point, Donald. Congratulations. I rolled for Joe. Joe was gone. Joe in character reflection. Then Sarah will take us home.
All right. Everyone's probably wondering where his father has gone. Truthfully, also he's asleep at the moment. But like the back thing, the thing in the back of his mind is like, where has everyone gone? Why is there no one at the demiplane? And I guess like, why did like everyone think it was okay just to leave his mother like this? Also, he's really concerned about his mother, but like he's also like a bit concerned as to why everyone thought it was okay just to leave her like this. That's kind of just really negligent. I mean, he's already angry because he's Enderlin, but he's angry now.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, take that hero point. And Sarah, the person who has an entirely different session to react to Begazome.
Well. Well, I don't know. I guess I'll sum it up briefly. I killed Marcella. I feel bad. It was an accident, but I feel really bad about it. And my sword yelled at me for, well, not for killing Marcella, but for not being fulfilling the role of a follower of Theron Ray. What else? I think that's just about it. My character's feeling pretty, like, depressed, because I kind of called it when I was like, oh, Enderling. Emeritus hasn't lost anybody important to him, so he doesn't know what grief feels like.
And now you do.
And then here we are. Oops. My bad. Well, that sounds really negligent. I'm feeling very sad.
That's better. Take your hero point. And Emeritus does show up at the Envy with Mercutio, and joined by them, that's worded terribly, they are joined by that token that you see there, the man with the like cropped brown hair. He's wearing like a full suit of armor. He's carrying a long sword and a shield. He kind of just like, he's keeping to the back of those two, trying to look really like as small as he possibly can, but he still strikes like not an imposing figure, but like a commanding one. He's still like, he's obviously wearing the armor of an Imperial officer. And again, just kind of like hiding behind a short, fat dude and his dog, and a scrawny dude who does not have a dog. I digress. You guys have the floor. I think we were still trying to figure out exactly where it is we wanted to go. Mercutio's probably still just kind of like, why is it you people think you need to go to the asshole of the Empire? You're gonna get yourselves killed, Pogue. You're gonna get them all killed trying to do this thing. He is not happy.
You would have us be just another group of foot soldiers in your army then.
I didn't say that. You can do what you want. It is clear you people can't lead anybody but yourselves. We tried that. It didn't work out. I just don't want you to go, oh, we can't fit in the army. I'm going to go where all the badder stuff is before we're ready for it and get smacked around a little bit. Also, how are you going to get there?
By dog, of course.
By dog. He's very, even like, it's been established that Stavian speaks Draconic, so he's just, I think not. And like, a bunch of like scorpion tails sprout from the back of a German Shepherd, essentially.
Oh.
Even if you had all the riding dogs in the Empire, you're not gonna get past their forces when you cross the border. You're not gonna get past Opara. If you want to sail there, you're not going to sail through the biggest navy on Galerion. You can't teleport there. They've got ways around that. You're going to run into a brick wall, discombobulate your stuff all over the place, end up in a bunch of little pieces. You haven't even thought this through, kid.
Surely there are trade boats going to Casimir, though.
Trade boats that are inspected. Your drunk fox friend showed up from Absalom not too long after you guys got done with that.
Oh, hey, that's Zoella.
Oh, hey, that's Zoella. And she's been very helpful with that situation, letting us know that they haven't just conveniently forgot about their ports and checking everything that comes in when you know there's rebellions going on all across Avistan.
Zandu sighs heavily listening to all of this arguing.
He does make a valid point. We should clean up our operation in the current region before we move onward. But this is just my thinking on the matter, Poe. Your emotions are high, which I understand, but I do not want your emotions to lead all of us to an early death.
This coming from the girl who could raise you from the dead, Pogue.
Yeah, so she should be fine coming with me. What would you have us do going to Cathera?
Well, if you went to Cathir, you could do whatever it is you wanted. You could join the army, you could run up a siege tower, you could sneak in. It's just a matter of clearing out some holdouts. Like I said, word is the satrap's already fled for the hills. He's done with this place, and we're starting to hear rumors that the Empire is not gonna come and send any more troops. Word is that they're saying that it was the Kadiran military that summoned all these evil creatures that we saw, and they're calling them heretics. I don't know what's going on with that. I have no idea why, but I think there's something fishy going on up there, and I don't want you guys to just run into it.
Well, if things are fishy going on that are fishy up there, then shouldn't we find out what it is?
You can certainly
Before
try.
things get worse here?
You can certainly try. I'm not gonna stop you. You guys obviously, and he looks at all the coin purses that I imagine aren't still 100% spent. You guys obviously have a lot of money and you could buy ways around protecting yourselves and stuff. But if you get too far away from us, we can't really help you. Real quick, before we go on any further, I will say that, like, amidst all the arguing, if Enterling wasn't awake, he's awake now, and he has, like, the king of all headaches. Like, it won't mean a whole lot to everybody. Well, I imagine most of the people that can hear my voice right now will understand, like, especially Kane, if your voice, if your head rather is going to gug open, that's kind of what Enterling feels like. Like, if his head was a flower, it's getting ready to, like, blossom open. That's how bad it hurts.
That's a hell of a hangover.
Enderling's just sitting, probably just sitting staring at the floor then.
Okay.
If his head hurts really badly. Probably still in the other room.
Okay.
He's probably closed the door as well, if they're like yelling, he just like shuts the door.
It's probably not quiet, yeah.
Tommy, so the Sultan Palace, if we do go there, it is in the region we are in currently.
That's
Am I
correct, yeah. Yeah, you guys would be attacking the capital of Qadira. It's essentially, again, just like rounding up holdouts in Qadira and finally, like, liberating it for the rebellion.
Paul, if we do go to Casimir, we would be going in with all of the resources we have with very little aid for the time being. Why don't we gather more resources before we push in that direction?
What kind of resources do you have in mind?
If we do liberate the city, we do get the people's aid, and what resources does the city have to help our cause?
I'm not talking about invading Casimir. I'm talking about going home.
If we do go there, it is us against everyone there. We don't have much aid there, except for what allies we have there. We should worry about getting our operation in the region done first before going into new territory. I just want to have as many resources as we can before we go into Casimir.
I don't know. What do you guys think?
I'm not sure what there's left to do here after that bloodbath. I, Kane, the player, don't actually recall if there's anything left to do here.
You, Kane, the player, would know. Like, the only real, like, and we're kind of open world, so it's sort of whatever, but the main, like, quest marker, I guess, floating around here is liberate the capital of Qadira and, like, round off everything here and liberate the region for the rebellion once and for all.
And the capital of Qadira
is Kathir, and it's, like, right outside where you guys were, like, camped, basically. Not on the demiplane, but back on Galarion.
It's Kathir.
Yep.
So how far are we from Kathir?
Presently pretty far, you're on a demiplane. But
Everything's gonna, like, open up the door and, like, poke his head through and, like, covering up his ears with part of the door. Just be, like, really quietly, just like, Mercutio, what needs to be done first?
Enterling's headache intensifies.
Oh.
So, real quick, to make it a little more clear.
Can I still speak?
Yeah, you can talk. It just sucks. Kathir is... Where is Kathir? I think I actually have drawn a line through it. Yeah, one of the borders cuts through it. Kathir is right here. And you guys... I think you can see this map, can't you? Yeah, you can. Okay. Wow, I've moved the map back to the demiplane. No, that's bad. Kathir is here, and you guys were camped, like, here. But, again, like, gates through the demiplane to here would put you guys outside the capital. I haven't updated this map, but all that, like... Basically, Kathir is the only thing left. Everybody who's, like, run off to the mountains to fortify has been dealt with. Honestly, probably a lot of people have, like thrown aside their weapons and joined the rebellion, rather, after,
Oh, it just broke up when I threw it.
They'll have really terrible weapons. Shit. Breakaway sword! But after, like, rumor of a bunch of divs showing up, fighting alongside Imperial troops, a lot of people have had it with their shit, essentially. It's just a matter of cleaning up right there. But again, the game is...
I do not see Kathir. Oh, there it is.
Yeah,
oh,
there's a line through it. Yeah.
I was like, I see Kath. What is that?
If we take care of Casimir, take care of Cassio. Then Cassia. If we do go there and finish that matter up. Then we can go to Casimir afterwards.
Erling still just wants to know what needs to be done first. He says very quietly.
Okay. Can Enterling make a quick
What
fort
needs
save
to
for
be
me?
done first? A fort save?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, if that's the next closest thing, we might as well get it over with.
Try and open up a sheet, please.
Somewhere there's.
Somewhere it's coming.
I'm curious. So was the item sold? So what is the grand total then?
I have no idea. I haven't been tracking the gold, but you guys see, like, as Enterling comes through and starts asking Mercutio these questions, he promptly, like, he gets really wibbly wobbly, and his eyes kind of like roll back in the back of his head, and he falls over on the floor, passed out. Oof. There's probably a very loud thud. You like I said, you come through the door. You start.
I do?
Yeah, you do.
It is natural.
You can make a check.
Natural cause. Knowledge nature, I guess.
Okay.
I don't care if it's natural or not. I'm gonna go pick him up and put him like in bed.
All right, that's a pretty big strength check.
Good
okay.
luck!
So yeah, go get him, little buddy. So a knowledge nature, it doesn't seem to be natural. No, he
I weigh
seems to.
400 pounds.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Gonna roll a
so,
d60.
No.
So get the
So-
wheelbarrow.
So, Mercutio, so he just fell due to a terrifying sight then. Got it.
It maybe. I wouldn't go that far.
Okay,
Zandu is curious as to if this has anything to do with what he
12.
did.
I would help.
knowledge
I
arcana for
would help get Mercutio to a bed.
All right, Mercutio's fine. It's Enterling who's beat up, and Mercutio is constantly in a state of like wobble. But
You just come over and try to help him. What are you doing?
what are you doing, man? He's past that. Mercutio's probably actually like actively waddling over to Enterling's body, and so is the soldier. They're not like poking. What happened? It's not that bad. But okay, for Zandu's knowledge arcana, it tracks. Yeah, it could be something similar. He seemed like he was feeling bad, but not so bad as to just pass out instantly.
So whatever's doing this to him is magic.
Yeah, certainly.
Yes. What do I got?
Mercutio's looking. Hey, big guy! You been drinking too much of the family business? Get up!
I don't know. Am I still passed out?
I'll get to you in a sec. I'm waiting for Colin.
Yeah, I'm just making sure I still have spell slots available for this.
You're probably fine. Amidst all of
Yeah.
the bickering about what to do next that this party is so good at, you've probably rested a little.
Okay.
So from the current location, we are not on the demi-plane. How long would it take for us to travel to Cassia?
You just teleport there.
So, if that's the case, Zandu is first going to try to detect Mindscape to see if there's anything going on there with Enderling.
Okay, no Mindscape.
No Mindscape? Good. Good. Detect thoughts, I guess, would be the next one.
Okay, that's awkward. Make a will save.
Make a will save?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Uh-oh.
This is probably mind affecting. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, screw it. That's fine. It'll be mind affecting. Alright.
26 plus 10, so
Real
36.
good. Real good. You cast detect thoughts, and you can probably at all times pick up Enderling and Captain Chaos, but one of them is very like yeah, you could probably pick up like one very quietly in the chorus, essentially. Well, not in the chorus, in the duet. Big difference. When like the other one is in control. but this time you can feel like two very, very, very distinct personalities, and the one you imagine to have been Chaos, well, probably more than imagine, you're intelligent and rolled really well. The one that is Captain Chaos seems to be a lot more powerful at the moment, like it's almost like enveloping Enderling. And you just kind of like, you hear the same thing in Detect Thoughts that I'm about to describe to Joe. Just kind of maniacal, like crazy, insane laughter as Enderling wakes up, essentially just kind of sitting on a dark floor with just like blackness all around him, and there's a face that's almost like a bright red coming out of this blackness, and there's two white triangle shaped eyes in the face, and it just kind of like flies all over what you imagine is a room, just cackling its head off.
Oh dear. Does that face look anything at all like the Void Weaver's face?
It is not.
Okay, good.
Maybe a little. It looks more like the Void Weaver's face than perhaps like your face, but it's not like, haha, great old one. It's not like that.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was worried about. Does anybody else know about Captain Chaos?
Not that you would be aware.
Okay.
I know sometimes Enderling acts kind of funny.
So, Xandu will,
Funny is not the word I would use.
I think it would be wise if we stepped back for a little bit. I'm not sure what's about to happen, but there are two distinct personalities inside of Enderling right now. And
Whoa! What are you talking about, kid? And he like Mercutio backpedals really hard with his hands up. He probably like trips over a chair in his own obesity as he does this.
Is everyone standing in the room with? Because Enderling's still in the room with his mother, so everyone's like,
I would
ignoring that.
Pogue's outside. Pogue's outside.
Lucia's outside. Lucia doesn't want to get hurt or get involved in this matter.
Enderling was like his head was out the door, so I imagine like the door is there and his face is just sort of like peeking out as he's on the floor.
Yeah, big troll tongue lolling out the side of his mouth.
Other than that, Xandu is sort of, he's gonna watch and wait because he doesn't really have any spells that can help with that.
Okay. Anybody else got anything?
Yeah, I don't have any magic to fix that neither.
Oh, Xandu does have a spell though.
I was gonna say, do we brain adventure into the Skag now?
No, Xandu will cast Protection from Evil on Enderling and hope for the best.
Okay. The spell resolve. Yeah, the spell resolves. It's awkward though. That is really awkward.
Protect him from himself?
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
It works. This is not a spell that I often see in my metas, which is weird because it's probably.
Do you want me to throw out the description there?
Yeah, now that I'm halfway through Googling it, we can look at the description, sure. Okay, so... Okay. Alright, so it's the spell does not expel a controlling life force, but does prevent them from controlling... That's a lot of reading. It succeeds. I'll say, like, Enderling feels the, like, what he knows must be Captain Chaos inside his own head kind of recede a little bit. Like, he stops up just, as he shrinks back into, like, a little, like, smaller face in the blackness. It seems like he can't come any farther forward, but he's still there. Enderling remains passed out.
Probably makes less of a ha and more of a hey noise.
Yeah. I should probably have you do all the voice acting for this. Just Joe, this NPC would like to say this.
It's like a bumblebee on the other side of a pane of glass. Just boom, 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 boom.
I want to tear your arms off!
Anybody else got anything? Actually, where is Lucia standing right now?
She is outside.
Oh,
She doesn't
God.
want to get
She's
in.
run away.
So, is the situation look like it's going to turn bad, or
Maybe
is
for
it?
you.
Is everything stable, or are things going to turn south real soon?
Actually, really quickly, would you make a reflex save for me?
Sure.
All right, so you, as you come outside of the envy and you're trying to, like, what's going on? Is it going to go bad? Are we all going to die? You hear this really, like, loud cracking noise, and you look up just in time to see the sign that hangs outside Fafnir's envy has come off, and it hits you in, the perfect angle on, like, your chin to... Is anybody else outside?
Is the front door open?
I'm back.
Yeah.
What happened?
Yes, the front door is open. The sign falls on Lucia, and again, it's like just the right angle to snap her neck. And anybody she falls in the doorway, just like
Wait,
dead before she
am
hits the floor.
Do I sense this is going to kill me perfectly, or do I?
You don't sense a whole lot other than look up, oh, and then Lucia just kind of on the
Okay,
ground.
I'm going to use my hero point to get out of the way.
The GM's gonna tell you not to waste it, but you can if you want to.
Don't waste it.
I'm not
GM
then.
has
Do
meta
Literally
knowledge.
don't.
Plot point.
Let's and not to cut anybody off from helping poor Enderling, let's have Lucia make a quick perception check.
All right.
Well, her head's cut off!
How is she gonna make a perception check if her neck's broke?
It's awkward. Lucia comes to, comes to is the wrong word. She suddenly realizes that she is an awkward distinction because she no longer has a whole lot of memory of things like, anything that would push her identity much faster, or much farther rather than, humanoid. It kind of feels like a hallway, but that hallway has a conveyor belt under it and it's pushing you forward. Everything's really grayed out. There's a lot of lots of other people are in this hallway with you. It's very crowded. They're all just kind of looking around confused. No one has any form in such a way that you could identify gender or race or anything like that. They're just kind of humanoid outlines, I guess.
Okay, I'm going to do a knowledge plane to figure where I am.
Okay.
And while you're doing that, can Pogue? So Pogue was sitting at the bar because I think the bar was outside of Enderling's mom's room, right? So he didn't go in. Can he see the door from where he is?
Yeah, you probably see it.
So do I see her?
Yeah, with her neck hanging really awkwardly. Lucia doesn't. I'm not going to use Lucia's name. Lucia doesn't remember her name. She remembers her skills and stuff, and it's really hazy and really foggy. But it comes together that you've died, and this is the river Styx, and you are slowly moving towards where it pools beneath Pharasma's spire, where all souls are eventually judged and sent on to their proper afterlife.
Okay, my character is dead now. Or they're just going, or you're not going to kill my character.
I mean, I said don't use the hero point. I wouldn't be like, don't use the hero point. Now you can't play Lucia anymore. I'm not going to do that.
Okay, I'm going to see how this turn out.
Okay.
I think that's what Tommy is trying to say. You should do.
Alrighty.
Pogue's grumbling over. Pogue, in the meantime, he comes over and he's like, "What have you done this time, woman? I'm always saving your ass. And get up. What's wrong with you?" And then he's like,
her imp has probably gone full imp and is kind of pushing on her. Get up!
Yeah, right.
Tommy,
So
you're
Pogue's
gonna knock your mic over with your hand motions.
Pogue's going fully codependent wife is like, get up, and slapping her around and everything. Not too hard, but just wake up.
Okay.
So that's what he's doing.
Anybody else have any other actions, including
Yeah, I know
Lucia,
Francis will
including
run
her?
out the front door and sort of shoulder Pogue out of the way and start checking her vitals. He's
Her head is gone. Let's check her vitals.
No, her head
he's
is
got that
attached.
big old heel check. Well, I don't know if she's.
fine. It's just
I
off
gotta
at an
make sure
awkward
she's
angle.
not dead, but she is dead. But I don't know that. Now
Now
I definitely know she's
you are.
dead.
She has broken her neck. Yeah, the sign hit, and just like it's perfect how it came down. Any farther either direction, and it kind of would have been just like, well, that could have been really bad. But
It's not the first time the sign's done that.
He looks up. Jesus. He looks up and goes, "She's dead, Jim."
she's not Jim.
She has dad pog.
She's dead, Bug. I can't understand. what
Sacrificed
happened
herself for everyone.
for a sign.
Well, yeah, but if someone else had walked out there, that could have been Francis dead. Nobody wants that.
No.
There's a second sign. It kills Francis.
The sign regenerates.
That's right.
The door closes
True
on my head.
defense system. Eat shit.
Tommy, so in the River of Styx, continue?
yeah, you can
River
interject
Styx,
whenever.
It's not River.
So can I figure? So I know I'm at the River of Styx. So am I going to the point to meet Pharasma or some significant power?
Yeah, that is exactly where you're going. Like, you made a high enough knowledge planes check. You know it takes a really long time. Because there are a lot of souls throughout the multiverse that have to, like, traverse this, and assuming that, like, a daemon or a demon or something like that doesn't, like, pluck you out of the river and use you for their war machines, eventually you'll get there.
So to get to the front line faster, I can't really do anything, right?
You can move. You could, like, there's nothing stopping you from, in theory, like, pushing people and just sprinting down the river Styx, but it'd be a long sprint.
Okay, so let's see. I would probably point my hand up. I do have an appointment with Mayor Larkan to keep. Can I get ahead? So it would be one of the Infernal Dukes, my character worship, effectively.
All right. No one responds, but do make a will save real fast.
Okay.
Okay, that does fail. Lucia finds herself in a desert. Just snap, you're there. There are 4 men in black armor with, like, big shield on one arm and halberd in the other. All 4 of them are surrounding, I say too much. All 4 of them are surrounding a giant sedan chair, whereupon, as you know, because you've seen this before, there's a, like, gigantic suit of armor, and where the helmet would go, that's where Rat sits. He looks down at you, and his voice, which is considerably much louder than, like, a little rat should be, just, Lucia. You've joined us at last. Welcome.
Am I dead?
Do you say that?
Yeah. I'm just asking, am I permanently dead, or is this just a illusion of some kind? I cannot tell at times.
And you want to ask that to, like, Rat? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, I'm just asking if I am actually dead, or if I am, if this is an illusion of some kind and something happens to me to be here.
Okay. You ask Rat that, and you realize that, like, you begin to formulate the thought, and you can get that whole thought together to ask him it, but, like, you go to say the words, but the words just don't come out. It's also around this time, I'll say, you realize, like, it should be really hot where you are, but you don't feel it. You don't feel sand beneath your feet. You don't feel what would be, like, hot wind blowing on your face. You just, like, you can't even really smell anything. You just, like, you can see Rat and his entourage, essentially.
Okay, so I'm going to do a knowledge religion to figure out what type of state I'm in.
Okay. Well, don't leave us all in. There we go. 27.
So it's 27.
All right, so you begin contemplating what might be going on. As you do so, Rat just kind of, like, scampers down and then dimension doors off his sedan chair. And you look confused, Lucia. Come here. I will explain everything. Before you can respond, your legs start moving towards him.
Okay, so this is a supernatural power controlling me, effectively. Nice to know.
It's
I'm
a
an
thought.
adulteress. I'm adulterous to an extent. So I go ahead.
Again, there's no thinking about you going ahead. You just He says, "Come here," and you come here. And as he does so, he points to the ground and just kneel. And
Okay,
you and me before, like, there's no okay in your mind. Like, he says kneel, and you immediately just, like, drop to a knee. You drop so fast that, like, you'd think it would hurt to do what you just did, but it doesn't hurt at all. Like, your palm slams into the sand, but you feel nothing, and you get a look at your palm, and you realize that, like, there's bits of flesh gone, and the bone is sticking out, and, like, tendons are, like, flopping out at awkward angles from your palm. That should really hurt. It doesn't.
Okay, I'm going to use my wizard knowledge to figure what is happening to me. So do a spellcraft to figure what effects is on me.
Alrighty.
So 26 spellcraft to figure what is going on.
It would appear that your soul has been, without your will or consent, put in the body of an undead.
I think I figured out what just happened to me. Apparently, I'm a undead, and you're probably using magic to control me. Is that a safe statement to say?
So you probably get like 3 of those words through your mind before you realize, like, again, you can't formulate the words, and about 4 or 5 words of that train of thought through, they kind of just, like, fade away. Like, oh, so wait, you've met... and then your mind just kind of blanks out. Now listen here, girl. You had a chance to bring me the Libris Mortis. You failed, but you can still be useful. They should be. Ah, yes, there they are. Look! And he points his little rat finger, like he stands up on 2 legs and points a little rat finger over a hill. And again, without waiting for you, you just kind of like, your head cocks over and these knights are charging down the hill. Lance's couch shields up, screaming battle cries against the undead in your direction. Rat looks at you. Kill them all. He dimension doors back into his sedan chair, and you begin just kind of about as fast as you can move as a shamble, but you begin shambling in their direction.
So, can I use any spells I know to kill them effectively, or?
You could try.
Okay, so they are so what type of enemies are they exactly that I can make out?
About a dozen dudes on horses in a wedge formation charging at you.
Okay, I'm going to use fireball
Okay.
to kill them.
All right, you can do it. It's weird. Like, you get it in your head that I'm going to do something aggressive because Rat wants me to, and nothing stops you from raising your hand and incanting and, like, boom, blowing somebody up. The fireball goes off. You don't need to roll. They all, like, the scream of horses and the scream of men echo across the desert, and all of them die.
These corpses, they are definitely not the rebel troops, I can assume.
You have no idea.
Okay, I examine these troops.
Okay, make a perception check. Natural 20.
I see all.
Okay, so you natural 20, so I won't, like, cut off your perception check like 3 words in. These guys are rebel soldiers. These guys are, I don't remember the name of Paizo's Cavalier Order that exists to take powerful magic items away from bad people. I think it's the Order of the Seal. Yeah, that's it. There are about a dozen members of the Order of the Seal that have chosen to attack a very powerful lich, and the lich has sicked their servant, you, on them.
Okay, I feel bad, and Ratlich, you just asked me, you just commanded me to kill these troops, right?
Again, you get like 3 or 4 of those thoughts through before it just kind of peters off into nowhere. Rat appears like right in front of your face, and he snaps his fingers. As he does so, you kind of like snap to attention. It's really awkward because you've been kind of like, again, you're shambling when you move because you don't have enough pieces. But he snaps his fingers, and you just, in perfect, as if like your entire muscular system wasn't dangling out because you're an undead. Good. You can be useful after all.
I did have a plan to obtain it. It would have had taken a long time. I was getting the resources to make my plan a success. I was going to eventually get the book on the plane, but unfortunately, things change now.
Again, these thoughts, like, you say what you say, you can get, like, you can't say them because your jaw doesn't seem to want to work. And, like, about, like, 4 of them in, they just kind of, like, back into nothing. Back on Mustafa's demiplane, Mercutio figures out what happens, and he like sprints over in a sudden burst of adrenaline and speed that belies his fatness, and he like dives into Lucia, and he casts Breath of Life on her, bringing her back from the dead, bringing you out from that body and back to this demiplane here.
Quick question. The undead body that I did possess, did it have any notable facial feature that could identify me?
You couldn't see the face. Because, I mean, it was like your face. You can't look at your face right now. Same idea.
Okay, so what about body type? Could it easily be identified as me? I'm just figuring out.
You can make a knowledge check.
Okay,
She did just roast all of them, though, right?
Yeah, she did.
Yeah. I'm just making sure it's just was a random undead body, not my actual humanoid body skeleton. So knowledge nature, I guess, to figure body type out.
Sure, yeah, go for it.
20.
It was just a basic, like, humanoid, like, you imagine it might have been, like, a skeletal champion or something, essentially, that had the same basic body structure as you, but, like, your ability to spellcast, essentially.
Okay, good to know that I may be able to get my plan off still.
But you are back in your human body, back in the demiplane now.
Okay, cool.
Zandu is sort of like looking at Mercutio like, holy crap, I didn't know you could do that.
I didn't know I could do that either. Oh, I need a drink. And he, like, leaning on he's leaning on the pointy end of a lance for his double weapon, so it's not good for that weapon probably most of the time, as he just kind of, like, almost like the ferryman on the river Styx, just kind of, like, boats his way over to the bar. He collapses in a heap.
Okay, so Lucio, seeing what happened, you see a bit grief-stricken face. Am I back in the land of the living?
You are, yeah.
Good. I need to talk
She wakens to Pogue smacking her across the face. Sorry, Pogue.
Sorry, me.
Sorry, me.
I push Poe off. I need to see Mufasa right away.
He's not here right now.
What?
Do you know when he's going to be back?
Probably around the time that Kadira is liberated for the free people of the land and it is no longer an imperial mining province.
Okay.
Would you like to leave a message? I can go get his bird if you'd like.
No, I will talk to him later about this. It's quite important when he does get back. Tell him that I need to talk to him. This matter is quite important. It's about a common enemy. It's about a common enemy we have. I would imply that he knows who.
Well, all right, kid. And he, like, you're probably just shouting this into the bar because he's collapsed by the bar with like a mug of ale in his hand.
I mean, I would probably talk to him in a calm, reasonable-ish voice. So.
Okay. Enderling is still passed out on the floor.
I tried to lift him up into bed.
And it didn't work.
Okay.
I mean,
so
that
with
natural 11 didn't get him anywhere.
Nope.
With this experience, Lucia is going to get herself another drink.
Okay. Yeah, you're certainly capable of doing so.
Yeah. So she's going to drink this and try to forget this ever happened. What just happened in the desert.
Can Lucia make a quick sense motive check for me?
Sure.
So Pogue, being concerned, comes over. He's like, "Lucia, what is it?"
She not okay.
She
knows
everything.
exactly what it is. Yeah. Okay. You know that somebody you've worked for, someone who's promised you lots of power, if you would just do what he says, has a lot of people would call that a very gross violation of their person to be reanimated. This is not necessarily. I realize you might interpret this as me like a Christmas storying the necromancer. That's not what I'm trying to do. I swear to God. But that's essentially what kind of happened accidentally.
Tommy, you've done this before.
Oh yeah, I did with Zoella, didn't I?
Okay, so
Regardless, that's what you get. You realize that this person you're working for probably doesn't care about you at all, and like you got really lucky to be brought back. There was like Mercutio would have to have some very powerful, dare I say it, GM level magic, like because you can't resurrect somebody from the dead if their soul is inhabiting an undead body, but apparently he can.
I think I did something I regret in the River of Styx. This is not good.
What is it?
I think I killed its soul in the River of Styx and maybe elsewhere in the world. I can't really tell. It was such a rush for being in that area for a short amount of time.
So you're gonna tell us who it is? What happened?
I was in a desert, and there was a bunch of cavalrymen. They were charging me, and I think I probably killed enemies. I do not know who exactly. And then I came back here.
Was this by your choice?
It was not by my choice. It was a present, and I described the rat lich without actually saying his name. Presence commanding me to do this. I do not know if this was a div or some evil outsider, but this is not good.
Well, you say you're describing rat, but you're not saying rat. So go ahead and make a bluff check. Yeah, I see the sense motive. It's already been thrown down.
I am not saying so. Your bluff. Let's see if I can actually roll quite well.
You used up any good rolls from me.
Womp womp. Ah,
Jesus.
I guess he hasn't.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
This worries me very, very much. A power that could command me to do something against my will. This worries me.
So, as Lucy is doing this, Xandu will try to detect thoughts on her because he's suspicious.
Okay, that would be a will save from Lucia, right?
I believe so. Let me check. She probably makes it.
Yeah, that seems really good.
Yeah, right?
The wizards will save are generally pretty good for the most part.
Can I aid Xandu or distract Lucia?
You might be able to distract her.
Okay.
It's DC 19.
19. So
Because of the +2.
All right. So I'm like, Lucia, are you sure you're telling me everything? I mean, something's not quite right here, but there's never anything quite right with you, so I can't tell if there's something more quite right going on here. This would be a good time to come clean.
I think one of our enemies are probably controlling me to a certain extent, which is not good. And I would explain what I did to the troops. I think I actually accidentally killed the riders of the Order of the Seal by accident on command of a powerful voice. And this worries me if they can control me like this.
Yeah, no kidding.
that might be another bluff check. There's a little bit of information there you're not giving out. Yeah, we can do another bluff versus sense motive if Pogue doesn't buy it all, or anyone else who hears it.
Yeah. So
Jesus.
is that
Well, Xandu can still roll.
Nope.
Yeah, there's those calling rolls. Even Francis can't quite. He is,
Francis is at 37.
Francis got him,
but did he though?
but did he?
Because Donald rolled a natural
Got
20.
a nat 20.
Yeah,
Ugh.
Francis is like, oh wait a minute.
37.
I think you're. He just chooses to let it go. Francis
All
is
right,
pretty
we let it
sure.
go.
And you guys, You guys are
Killing
pretty sure.
souls in the river Styx, that's a violation of the natural order. Ah, it wasn't her fault.
Exactly.
When we are done in Cassia, I need to talk to Mufasa further about this. If a powerful being can control me like this, I do worry for my own safety at times.
So Xandu's gonna see what would happen if he were to cast aversion on Captain Chaos while he was inside of, like, while these two entities are fighting. Like, what kind of effect would that have?
Okay, sure, go for it.
So that's I'm gonna roll a knowledge check before I do that.
Oh, okay, fair enough. I had said sure, go for it because I wanted to see the description of the spell.
21.
All right. I guess I'll Google it like the pleb that I am because I don't know all the spells in the game. Too much bloat. We need to go to 5e. Said no one ever.
Said me.
If you want, I can bring it up. It's in my spell list as
Yeah,
well.
I'll second that, Van.
It is 3 natural 20s.
Yeah, Lucy's on fire today.
Jesus. I hope we don't have to fight her.
So you're trying to have Captain Chaos avoid Enterling, is that right?
Yes, and the spell's description is in there.
It could work.
I'm just concerned that it doesn't kill Enderling in the process.
It probably won't feel good. You don't have all the information though. There's two presences in that boy's mind fighting for control. And one of them is fighting a little less powerfully now because there's a protection from evil on him. But it probably won't feel the best. Again, I'll say you feel a little out of your depth here.
Little out of my depth. With what was going on with Emmy, I think Xandu's confidence is a little bit of a bust right now, so he's not going to try it.
All right, fair enough.
So we have two members of our party who aren't in control of their brains.
That sounds like the long and short of it.
Tommy, I'm going to do a knowledge. Let's see, to figure out spells. It would be spellcraft to figure out what magic the Rat Lich used on me. I think I know as a player.
Okay, go for it.
So 36. So can I
Okay.
guess how powerful he is based upon the magic he used?
You can guess he is very powerful, and the specific spell was GM_needs_Lucia_ to do this _.
I think mechanically you used control undead. I believe.
I mean, you died in a freak accident, were brought back as an undead, and commanded to kill people against your will.
Yeah. So a very powerful necromancer got that. This is worrying.
He did stuff way above your pay grade, is what it
Yeah,
counts
yeah,
to.
yeah, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I'm just figuring out mechanically he's like level 12 plus.
There's probably a lot of pluses put on that.
Yeah.
This for Lucia. If the Rat Lich can control her like this easily.
Yeah, she's not close to powerful enough to take him on.
You also know it was just as easily as like your soul happened to be not in its body, so it could be stuffed into an undead.
Yeah, so
he couldn't do anything right now, but should you die again?
Okay, so a very powerful necromancer got that. I think I know what level mechanically what those spell effects were.
Okay.
20.
20.
So, Xandu is actually kind of sympathetic towards Lucy in this regards, which is somewhat surprising, but because of what he has been through with the Void Weaver, he can definitely understand the fear of jumping into something way above your pay grade.
As poor Enderling is still passed out on the floor.
It's okay.
Xandu,
I don't know what to do about him, okay?
Xandu looks at Mercutio and goes, you know, you were able to bring Lucia back, and that seems like it should have been a lot more difficult than bringing Enderling back. Think you can bring him back?
You want to put your mouth on that
Show
now?
us another one of your feats of fatness.
He waddles over to Enderling and he kind of
There it is, a feat of fatness.
Yeah,
Here it
is.
goes.
And he doesn't squat. Oh god. He doesn't do that, that's bad. No, he waddles over and he kind of
off a rare Slav squat right in front of him.
that makes a little more sense. Yeah, he just kind of like
Hold on, everybody. Let me go get my Adidas tracksuit.
Man, that's what you want to do,
beret.
Kane. When you like retire Magpie for a couple sessions, bring back Finrick. We need a
You
bond.
want to see a feat of fatness? Here I go, I'm squatting.
And he looks into like the top of Enderling's head, and you see him kind of like Mercutio waves his hand and says some magic-y stuff, and then like his eyes go really wide, and his like he goes from a squat to just kind of like if he was like cleaning, not like I have a broom, like weights, and then he lost control of the weights and just like fell on his butt. That's essentially what happens. Just, oh.
What's wrong?
I don't know. I had to stop because I was gonna go full Irish.
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm from Ustalav. Yeah.
You want to go bowling?
I'll be there in the next hour. Somewhere, someone just reinstalled GTA 4. I might. Anyway.
Yeah.
The kid's got some kind of portal in his head. We need to get this boy somewhere where someone is a little smarter. And he like,
oh, what?
You know that it's prestidigitation that's making the Eagle Knight's pennant blow in the wind patriotically, but he still does it as he clambers into his dog's saddle and just, we need to get this boy down to the blue kobold. Let's go. I'll get there on my own time, says the dog, as the dog, who is very pained carrying Mercutio's not skinniness, over to Enderling and picks up Enderling. We didn't pick him up, but grabs his arm with his teeth and begins backing out of the envy. The Imperial.
I thought the dog was huge.
The dog can be huge when he has spells cast on him.
That's...
Oh, okay.
Yes. The Imperial officer is just kind of taking a table. This is over. It's not over his pay grade. His pay grade is higher than all of yours, but it is awkward.
All right.
Can I wild shape into a shambling mound and carry him there? Because that's gonna take forever. The dog has to drag him.
Yeah, you can.
And Cheliax spells don't dispel, so he's actually 1,200 pounds.
Oh god.
Oh my god.
So the dog is just as it kind of drags you if you were moving a couch by yourself, just in short controlled bursts across your house.
Xandu doesn't know what's up with the Imperial officer, so Xandu's gonna he's not gonna talk to him, but he's gonna wait behind to make sure that he's not up to anything fishy.
Okay, sure.
But I was gonna say Poke turns around after everybody drags out those guys and is like, hey, who are you and where'd you come from?
Well, I think you ought to ask him about that. And the man points at Emeritus.
Emeritus?
This is my new friend.
Son.
What? I have a son? No! I'm 19. This is my new friend. I helped him when he was in having a dark time. A dark time.
Yes. And?
I healed his foot. I probably am really awkward about it because this was during a rough time for Emeritus, so I'm probably.
I am going to do a sense motive check.
I'm lying. Haha.
Okay, go for it.
Is Lucia still there? Is she helping get Enderling to the blue kobold? And if
going to roll a corresponding check.
Are you lying?
No.
Then yeah, she's not lying. She's not lying. He's not lying. He's just awkward. He definitely like something's gone down, and he's just kind of like in the back.
Xandu's probably playing catch up to get back to the Blue Kobold Emporium.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess we're all going to the Blue Cold. Well, I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
Following that dog.
Follow that dog. And that giant pile of compost that goes faster when you hit it with electricity. Which is weird, but regardless, you guys make it to the Blue Kobold, and the door opens. There's a little just ding, ding, ding. Ah, yes. Welcome to the Blue Kobold. Oh my word. Who all is there? And I will say, like, as we get there, it's not just Arundel. Arundel pops out from the hat that Lucia gave him. And now that Arendel's player is here, I don't have to roleplay a koala for 3 hours. That's the biggest thing you missed last session.
Oh.
There's nothing stopping you from doing it anyway.
Haha, just do it anyway. What? Why? Why have you dragged this thing into my shop?
Are you talking about the poop pile or
No, I'm talking. He knows. I know what a shambling mound is.
Are you talking about the dog? Or
No, I'm talking about Anarling, Sarah.
I would talk
There's
back.
so many
but, like,
things you could have been talking about, though.
Arundel just kind of stands there very wide-eyed. And, like, very, like, disgusted.
Hashtag prestidigitation.
He probably, yeah, all over his floor.
Could I figure out what is Angeline current condition?
You can roll for it, yeah. I assume everybody's here also, is why I haven't done anything else.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
So so he is currently knocked out, right? So
Yeah, he's passed out on the floor.
Do we know if it's a magic effect or is it a natural effect that caused him to be in this state?
Very magic.
It's very magic. Mercutio said something about a portal inside of his mind.
Okay, I'm going to let's see. What would be more appropriate? Knowledge. Let's see. Portals are knowledge arcana check, so I'm going to do a knowledge arcana check.
Okay, sure. All right.
And 33.
What exact... Give me your
Yeah.
question.
Okay, I want to figure out if there's a portal, what is causing this? What type of portal is this to cause him to be in the current state? So it's more of who, what, how this portal is causing the current situation for him.
Okay, a knowledge arcana check is a little awkward because it doesn't answer a lot of those, but you know, like...
Knowledge
You know how the gate spell works. You know, it's not outside of the realm of possibility. And even, like, in Cheliax, there are probably, like, helipads, essentially, for, like, open your gate spells here so you don't accidentally open a gate in someone's chest.
Oh.
It's like, he might be passed out because a gate has opened in his mind, and therefore, like, he can't process information because his brain is being torn apart.
Okay, so I would explain all this knowledge to the party. It seems this powerful magic is being used in his mind, which is not good for his current condition. Does anyone know does anyone have any powers to figure out more about his current condition, where this gate leads to?
I might, my lady. And this is the first time you see... make a knowledge local check, Donald, would you?
Okay.
There we go. Okay, so you recognize... let me grab him. He has a token somewhere. I have a lot of tokens that I've made.
Wait, so the humanoid, it is pronounced with an A, not an E?
The humanoid is... Take away the E, you are talking to him. Take away the A, you're talking to him. Take away the E, pronounce the A, you're talking to his koala.
Hi!
Who says hi.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool. I'm just remembering which one is which for names.
It is complicated. I'll put him on the board. You recognize him. he owns a shop in Agorian, and it kind of just showed up there one day. You don't know who he is. You don't he doesn't have any connections or power in Cheliax, but suddenly one day he had a shop in like the bad part of Agorian, and it was successful enough that it wasn't like gone or burnt down in 2 weeks.
So this is Aaron, however you pronounce his name, Aaron.
The knowledge level going farther with it.
Yeah.
He recognizes you, and there's a very big look of derision on his face as he just, my lady, and he bows.
My friend Enderling, his current condition. What can you do to help relieve his current state?
Well, you just brought him here, didn't you? Dog, Shambling Mound. Bring them into the basement. Come back in a couple hours. I'll see what I can do. And exasperatedly, he just kind of begins walking down into the basement.
Maybe he needs a hug.
Shut up! The boy is going to be rent apart from the inside.
Oh.
Do you think hugs fix that?
Maybe.
No!
Do you need... would you like my help in this matter?
I think you can help. Well, make a diplomacy check.
Okay.
Help with a hug.
Not all problems can be solved with a hug. Sometimes you need a proper set of tools for this Enderling. The tunings sounds almost the same, so it's hard to pronounce one without mispronouncing the other by chance. So 15.
You can help me by getting out of my shop.
Okay.
I'm gonna drag Enderling downstairs with the dog and, I guess, struggle to pull him up on a table.
Alright, make a perception check, would you? I think this is the first time you've been down here.
I have very special eyes, so hopefully I do good.
Special eyes.
He has special eyes.
I had to do it, Tommy.
This is pretty average.
So, yeah, the 29, pretty average, yeah. Okay, so it kind of looks like you've taken Enderling into a torture chamber.
This doesn't count as still being in the desert, does it?
No, it doesn't.
Dang it.
But it's much cleaner because he cleaned it up before, unless he made a mess of it again.
It is considerably clean, yes, but it's still there are tables and stuff all over the place that have racks on the side that are holding various tools of dissection. There's a very nice couch and bed where a little kitsune girl is sleeping peacefully, but she's sleeping peacefully in what is obviously a torture chamber / science lab.
Well, that's macabre.
Zandu probably follows him down unless he stops him.
Wait, no, I've been here before.
Yeah, you can follow him down. There's nothing saying you can't.
Yeah. Zandu is curious as to what he's going to do and wishes to talk with him when he's done.
Alright.
For the time being, unless if anything actually demands Lucy attention, she would probably go back to her tent, telling everyone where she will be for the next few hours. I need to have some alone time, and she will work on Zandu's item for what would be about 3-ish 4 hours.
Okay. So Arundel makes his way down the stairs, and he just put it on that table there, and he points to probably the vicious looking of them. There's a lot of sharp, pointy objects dangling all around it, and it's a little bigger than the other ones, and there are straps about halfway down it, and straps where you imagine his wrists and his ankles would go, and there's one at the top, you imagine to restrain his head.
Oh yeah, he'll drag him onto those. The shambling mound will drag Enderling onto that table and begin strapping him in, and then his big dumb shambly mound hands don't work, so he'll wild shape back into Francis.
All right, you get him on the table, and as you are wild shaping, the table kind of just snap constricts Enderling. both his wrists, both his ankles, his waist, his chest, and like his eyebrows, essentially that part of his head, just like, and he can't move at all. Irindil approaches, he draws a scalpel, looks at anyone who's in the room. Come back in a couple hours. There's work to do.
Bye!
Precisely what are you going to carve out of him?
A smiley face.
Jesus.
I'm not going to hurt him. I'm going to help him. I suppose you can stay and watch if you want. After all, Fortune Teller over here has seen what happens. I was going to go farther with that, but I don't know where I will go farther with that. But Xandu knows that, like, if Irindil wanted to kill him, he probably could have right now. Like, way before it. He's safe. It's just, it's going to be gruesome and gory.
Yeah.
I lived in the woods for 20 years. I've seen dead bodies.
All right, Xandu.
You know, this is his friend, but this isn't his daughter that's going through this. So,
Okay.
and Xandu's been through some pretty nasty stuff in war. So,
Yeah.
I don't think he's particularly intimidated by it.
Alrighty. So, where's everybody
More
else?
curious than anything.
Lucio go to her turn too.
Lucia's back in the material plane.
Where was that soldier?
Where is that soul? He's wherever Emeritus is, just kind of sticking to him.
So I'm wherever they are. I'm wherever they are. You go ahead and finish. Go ahead and finish.
Go, Sarah.
I probably walked down to the basement and saw that Enderling was about to get stabbed, and it was just probably like, I don't want to watch another one of my friends die. So I probably just walked back up the stairs immediately.
So I
just leave him to his fate.
So Poga's just, while he's taking in everything around him, he's seemingly just trying to chat up, start up an argument, or not an argument, a conversation. Strike up a conversation is
So hey man, how's it going?
Find out more about him.
Okay.
What? Huh? Yeah. So right. Hey, what's it? How's it going, dead guy? I mean, who are you?
I am Lieutenant. He has a lot of names. I gotta bring the notepad file up from that 1v1. Lieutenant Maxientus Andronicus Paulus of the Taldan army. Formerly. It's complicated, but I guess I'm one of you now.
What's one of us exactly?
A member of this rebellion.
Oh,
We
okay.
attacked the fort. My soldiers were sacrificed. I surrendered. The Cult of the Dawnflower offered me forgiveness. My empire has informed me that the Cult of the Dawnflower's forgiveness means being sacrificed. I was not sacrificed. And now I'm here.
So do you believe that you're fighting for the good of the Empire?
I don't know what to believe right now. He gets, like, visibly uncomfortable as you ask him this.
You did see the divs, right?
I saw my men consumed by the div.
Right. And you know who's throwing those about, right?
I do now.
Not... So those divs can't possibly be good for anybody you care about, or any kind of moral code that you may have, right?
Most of my friends are dead. The rest of my friends have joined your rebellion and are preparing to assault the capital of Taldor's former southernmost province.
It's a good way of putting it.
He nods. It's around this time that, like, everybody who's downstairs sees, in one, like, deft motion, Irindil flicks his wrist, and the top of Enderling's scalp and skull comes off, revealing his brain. There's a little, like, quarter-sized pinprick of, like, green light coming from it that kind of, like, dances around, almost like if someone had a flashlight and was shining it on his brain and just, like, going crazy with it. Like, ask Mal how to shadow dance like that. With
I
his
thought you
flashlight.
were gonna say he had a tiny brain.
Evan's got 18 intelligence. Eat shit.
Hey Joe, look, your character has a tiny brain! Ha ha!
Yeah, Zandu is watching very curiously as to what's going on, but he's not saying anything.
All right. Arendelle steps back. He kind of like, he doesn't go like wide-eyed so much as like curious, inquisitive, wide-eyed. He pokes at the green spot with his scalpel, and it kind of like it playfully dodges around his scalpel, and he kind of has to like chase it. He's not like stabbing into Erling's brain. He's not like he's smart enough to not put that much pressure in, but just enough to like poke at it. And
What's that?
Go upstairs and watch the shop.
But I wanna help!
Go upstairs and watch the shop, or I will cast something and force you to do it.
Okay.
We can do this the easy way or the hard way, homunculus.
Alright.
I saw a werewolf open up a man's head like that once.
Don't scare the poor child. Speaking of poor child, through all of the like dragging of the boy downstairs, Emmy continues to sleep soundly. Arendelle goes to a counter and he produces a really like off green colored translucent flask, and he has to chase the green spot around a lot to do this, but eventually he works it out and he like pulls the green spot, which there's a lot more to it. He like, it's almost like that really bad scarf trick that you'll see like terrible magicians at parties doing. Just like pulling more of this out of Ennerling's brain, and it begins to turn like a dark inky black, and it like you see all these eyes open up on the side of it, and like these some terrible Captain Chaos laughs.
Oh wait.
Thank you, Joe. And he stuffs it down into this bottle, stoppers it, drinks the thing, touches Ennerling's head, and the scalp regenerates. Well,
Did he just drink Captain Chaos? Is that what I'm hearing correctly?
he drank a potion of regenerate so the poor kid could have his head back.
Oh, I thought you said he put Captain Chaos into the bottle and then he drank the
It did sound like
bottle.
that to me too.
Well, no, different bottle. 2 bottles. He has accelerated drinker and quick draw. You can't see what bottle he's drinking. He's a powerful alchemist.
He wishes I could throw a kill him.
Well, I suppose this is all we can do. Arendelle, like, he begins flicking the flask around and, like, juggling it a little, and he throws it into the wall. And it kind of, there's a little, like, tink of glass, but the vial remains completely unharmed as it kind of just, like, falls to the floor.
So, Zandu's gonna try his hand with some knowledge arcana to see if he has any idea what just happened.
Okay.
Yeah, what the hell is that? I don't have knowledge arcana. I have to resort to asking questions.
Okay, it looks like a really, really tiny, really small gate spell had been cast inside Ennerling's brain, and something was like coming out of the gate, and what Arendelle did was he essentially like stuck his hand through the gate, pulled the thing out, put it in a bottle, and stoppered it.
Did that face that came out when he was pulling it out, did it have those triangle eyes that you were telling me about?
Yeah, you can assume that that's Captain Chaos in the bottle.
Yeah.
And he's probably actively just like darting around the bottle, pinging at all the corners of it. He can't move the bottle, though you'd imagine like with all the like slamming on it that's going on, it should roll, but it doesn't.
Gross.
Does Zandu have any idea what kind of being Captain Chaos is?
That would be a different knowledge check. The planes. Nature applies to Fae, I think. But you didn't hear me say
Nature
Fae.
definitely applies to... Would definitely, but Zandu does not have it.
Francis sees a very malicious Fae jammed in a bottle.
Any particular type of Fae?
Sorry.
Not really. Just not a very nice or happy looking one.
Something from the first world.
Yes, it's definitely like you imagine that was a gate to the first world, and something was coming into Ennerling's mind, and Arundel ripped it out.
Gate
Oh,
to the first world,
interesting.
you say.
Mm-hmm.
Zandu is actively saying that to Francis.
Sorry, what?
The gate to the first world, you say?
Ah, that's what it looks like. Well, I mean, I'd figure it would be, considering what this appears to be. He's actually gonna pick up the bottle and like look at it.
And you would be correct, my tree-hugging friend. Your alchemist should be awake in about an hour or so. Arundel snaps his fingers and the restraints pop off of Enterling, and he kind of like... He doesn't slide off the table as the table comes to like a 45-degree angle, but he kind of like slides into like an awkward standing position, but still on the table.
Zandu is very intrigued by this because he knows that Emmy is Fey-blooded.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't necessarily know what kind of Fey, but he is intrigued. He looks at Irindil, correct?
Yes. Arundel is upstairs making sure people don't steal from the shop.
Hi.
You know, Irindil, your friend upstairs, you weren't here before, but he let me come in to check on how Emmy was doing, and I entered into her mindscape, and she wasn't there at all. At least not that I could see.
Interesting. What do you think it means, fortune teller? He goes to like move over and grab Emmy's like left arm, flip it over to like point her palm at you. Perhaps this will help you.
Wait, he points her palm at me?
Yeah. You can make a sense about it. Well, you know this guy's a snarky butthole. He's like,
Yeah.
He thinks your fortune telling is hokum, and he's asking you if maybe you could read Emmy's palm, and maybe that would solve all of the answers for all the questions you have.
Yeah, Zandu knows that he's snarky, and Zandu begrudgingly puts up with it, but he doesn't make much of a fuss.
Okay.
So he sort of looks at him, goes, to be fair, I don't really know, but I do know that while I was there, I started disappearing as well. I was hoping maybe you would have some answers, considering you had done some poking around last time when I first brought her in here.
Iridel's eyes go a little wide when you say like you started disappearing. He just, well, that shouldn't happen. How should it? This is what happens when our daughters get lost in the dimension of dreams and are taken off on moonlight dates with insane creatures who want the world to end. I've made no further progress with her. And as he says this, he kind of like, he backs up a little too far, and he like, with one of his, well, no, not with his elbow, we'll say like, the scalpel in his hand kind of goes like back a little far, like it would stab into Emmy. And as this happens, a field of energy just manifests around her. You have to like, well, you have to make a reflex save. That's what you have to do because you're holding her hand.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Whoopa.
You are able to let go of her hand as this force field manifests around her, but the first couple inches of Irindil's scalpel is like shorn off in nothingness. Once the scalpel is removed from where Emmy is, the force field goes down. He just kind of looks at his scalpels. Well, that's inconvenient. Throws it across the room, it clatters and like rolls across the floor, bounces off that flask. The flask rolls a little bit.
I wonder if the insane Fae in the bottle over there knows anything.
Well, you could always ask him if you want.
I shake the bottle real hard.
It just kind of bounces around.
Tommy, I'm just curious. So when I was in the shop there, I just wanted to do a quick knowledge check to figure out how Enderling knew me when she said the term lady. So would that be knowledge local or sense motive?
You don't need to make the check. You know it's because you're a nobility and everyone knows you.
Okay, cool. That's what I thought.
Okay.
So now does Joe need to make a
No, not he
an
knows.
Enderling, or not Enderling, a Captain Chaos noise that needs to get shaken around?
But he needs to like put a hand over his mouth because he's in a little bottle. While this is going on, actually, real quick, to pivot over to Lucia. Lucia, like, as you are crafting and coming to terms with what has happened, you realize that you need to come to terms with like what you're gonna do about this guy moving forward. A deal is one thing, a contract is one thing, but like, and again, I'm not trying to Christmas story you, but he's like, he made you kill a bunch of people against your will and made you like kneel to him against your will, and like, again, not trying to Christmas story you, but this is why necromancy is bad, and he's done it to you.
Yeah, I'm thinking I need Mufasa help or get the devil's help, which I don't want to get into potential outsiders' debts, exactly.
Fair enough.
Well, gee, thanks, Charles Dickens.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure Lucy and more of a logical, rational person and doesn't really want to get into debt to people that she doesn't need to. So Mufasa is a reasonable person that she can rely upon to a certain extent, but don't know how it will turn out. And devils, well, as much as she likes devils and can parlay with them, she doesn't want to get devils involved. So
Alrighty.
mentally. So definitely this would have to be a one-on-one session somewhere in the future, how to resolve this issue. But definitely, Devils or Mufasa would be the most appealing answer at the current moment to get some type of temporary immunity, protection, but don't really want to get in debt to a devil to have some type of immunity against the Ratlich powers.
Okay,
So this
I will be generous. I'll say that your tent flaps, and
That's what she said.
yeah, gross. and Mustafa appears in your tent.
Okay.
You called Necromancer?
Yes.
His sword is drawn and ignited.
It is a common enemy, the Ratlich. I need you to talk to you about him.
He looks at you and says nothing.
It seems that you know me and him. We are acquaintances. It seems that he made me do the unspeakable thing to control me to harm potential allies. I need your help to deal with the Ratlich once and for all, potentially.
And what is it exactly you want me to do for you, Necromancer?
I need a certain amount of protection to make sure he cannot control me to do an unspeakable evil to harm allies of the cause.
I see.
And I would explain what I did to the people under his control.
He looks visibly disgusted as you're explaining all this.
I
But he
know.
realizes you didn't do it, so you get to live.
Yeah, I know. This bothers me. This is why I ask for your aid. I generally don't like asking help for people and getting into debt, but I can only do so much on my own.
The cult of the Dawnflower tolerates your presence, Lucia. Because we have to, because the world is ending, because apparently necromancy will forestall the end of all of existence. However, if you want me to help you, you're going to have to help yourself first.
How exactly would you say I would do that? And I would, to think, I would assume my character would probably know the answer, so what would you think the appropriate knowledge checks would be?
Sense motive.
Okay. 14.
Okay, he is definitely going to try to convert you to Sarenrae worship.
If you're going to try to convince me to convert to your faith, no.
He
That
walks
not
out.
ha-
You
that
say
not
no, and he
happening.
turns the corner, walks out, and dimension doors away.
Okay. Is any evil outsiders, devils willing to help me out in this situation?
Oh yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of evil outsiders you can make a deal with.
Okay, I'm just thinking reasonable devils that can help me out.
Okay, well, while you're thinking about that, about an hour passes, and
Yeah, Zandu is going to be looking to send a message to Captain Chaos.
okay,
Specifically, he's going to use the message spell as it's more like talking, less chance of having to make some kind of crazy will save or something like that.
okay,
But he's gonna cast message on Captain Chaos's little phylactery, for lack of a better word.
okay.
And so, tell me, Fey creature, what do you know about what's going on in the world right now?
Well, I can't answer that. I don't say as Captain Chaos. I should say, well, I don't know.
I can't answer that.
But I can't. So many PCs get to play NPCs in my game this game.
Is that all Zandu got? Was that laughing?
No, I rolled a knowledge arcana to see what I know.
Okay, you know that like Ragnarok is come. You know that you don't like being stoppered up in this flask. You still like you still have a connection to Enderling. It's just a whole lot weaker than it was a second ago because like you've been physically disconnected from him.
Ah, okay. Alright, so, let me get my character here. Oh, Ragnarok has come! It's come, it's come! Why don't you let me free? Why don't you let me free, Sandu of Risia? And I can use Enderling's knowledge to tell you!
I think he'll use his arms to kill you.
Probably!
Just throwing that out there,
You never know with me!
given my own personal experience with the Fae.
Sound like a pirate. I apologize for that.
Pirate
so
works.
You know,
Pirate! Arr! I be a pirate! A pirate fae!
I traveled the 7 seas of the first world.
I've traveled the 7 seas of Enderling's mind, and I can tell you, there's no water in the troll's brain.
Zandu sort of raises an eyebrow, responds, "You do know, I'm pretty sure Enderling is capable of using his own knowledge to tell me as well."
Ah, but Enderling's... Oh, I'm still in pirate mode. I apologize. Oh, but Enderling's not in control of his own mind now, is he? Yes, until you seal me up, he wasn't in control at all.
But he should be now.
Maybe.
It's around this time that Enderling does come to. You're not like in the torture chamber anymore. They've moved you upstairs. You're like,
Oh,
What
hi!
did you guys do?
just probably like laying on the floor in the shop.
I don't know how we moved him.
Magic.
He's so heavy.
Magic.
That's the one.
That is the one. That's the one we always use. That magic.
Oh yeah.
So, Zandu is curious as to how Ragnarok affects the first world, not just this world.
Okay.
I don't know anything about the end of the world.
excuse me.
Nice. Really quickly,
Nice.
Enderling wakes up, and Enderling is still connected to Captain Chaos, and the voice is still there, but it's incredibly faint. You feel a little lightheaded, I will say. You don't have a headache anymore. You feel better on that front, but you're probably a little woozy for sure.
Yeah, it's not like he had his head cut open or anything like that.
They scalped me.
The guy in the vial seems angry.
He is.
He is. He is anger.
Maybe he needs a hug.
Oh, definitely not.
Do
Gavin.
it.
Arendelle makes his way up the stairs. Don't hug him.
But he needs a hug. He's upset and angry.
He does not need a hug. That flask is made of pure adamantine. He's not getting out of it.
But he needs a hug.
Enough.
Arendelle is V. Holy shit.
I didn't even think of that. It could be. It's all come even more full circle than I meant that reference to make it come full circle.
He wasn't the human the whole time. The question marks were for real.
Listen, troll. I've removed the gate to the first world from your brain. Don't let that thing out again. Keep it close to you. Don't let anyone open this.
But he needs a hug.
Enough. If they
What
open
in
this,
Freyr's name are you talking about?
I'm talking about the Fae that was in your mind.
Francis
one
will
that
hold
needs
up
a
the little
hug.
vial.
Chaos
Yeah,
probably
Xandu is-
reacts a lot harder as like he sees Enderling from this point of view for the first time forever and just begins slamming against the flask.
Just begins laughing.
Slamming, like trying to break the flask, but he can't.
Well, I imagine he'd laugh at him.
Ah, good.
He just really wanted to do that again.
I did. It's true.
Xandu's still
Yes,
got
I-
message going with Chaos.
Okay.
Does Xandu relay that message?
He laughs at
Um,
you.
Xandu begins laughing at Enderling. Terrible idea.
No. So Xandu's basically trying to get any information he can out of Chaos as to about how the end of the world affects the first world, and if that has anything to do with why he's come here.
Ragnarok affects every world. Oh, only the strongest will be feted. The gods will die, and only the man and the woman who are left will be left.
That doesn't sound like fun.
Enough.
So you remember a couple of weeks ago when I asked us all if we
You cut out.
are
my
we
man.
fucked?
Oh, that's what you were saying. I heard you remember a couple weeks ago when you asked us, "Are we fucked?"
Xandu looks over it. Jeez. Xandu looks over at him and says, "Not sure, but quite possibly."
Perfect.
Back to Captain Chaos. He goes, and what would you happen to know about the one downstairs? Did you see her at all?
Ooh, the pretty little nugget! Oh, she would be delicious. That's all I can say.
So you do not know her at all.
No! Why would I know her? I live in the mind of a troll!
For some of your life, I suppose, but you must have come from the first world.
Oh, I've come from places you couldn't imagine, little bald man.
Zandu sort of laughs back at Captain Chaos. Goes, you should try me sometime. I've probably been to places that you can't imagine.
We'll agree to disagree.
So now that I've performed my surgery, will you be needing any other free services, courtesy of a fat halfling from my store, gentlemen?
Well, I certainly don't need anything. I need a better plan.
Anderling, Xandu.
Xandu nods. He feels a little more comfortable knowing that Emmy has that shield up. Or something like that. But he's still very, very nervous.
Okay.
So,
Bad from the sound of it, that shield's not going to do shit for the end of the world.
Tommy, while Lucia is busy making items, she would think of potential devils that could potentially help her. So I'm going to roll a knowledge planes to figure out what type of devil type that can potentially help Lucia out.
Okay, sure, go for it.
I mean, she's probably not going to help from the Celestials, and she doesn't want to deal with the other outsiders, so the devils are probably the only chance for any power. So
18.
So 18. Can I figure out what type of devil that could potentially help Lucia out?
Well, it's
I'm
awkward
thinking-
because, like, you worship Lorcan, right?
Yeah, it
that's
would
where
be
your
Asma-
soul's going when you die. Then, like, your soul belongs.
Yeah,
to
it would
him.
be Asmodeus and Lorcan. So
Okay.
yeah.
So it's like to get help from a devil, pretty much anyone will help you, but it's a matter of the payment in return.
Yeah, true. So, I'm in bed with a devil technically, so how bad can the situation get for me, really?
Pretty much. But we are to confirm, like, what exact help are you trying to get here? What's the end goal?
It would be protection agency rat lich to prevent any mental or physical control.
Okay. So are we trying to just cut ties with him?
Yes. For the time being, potentially. I still thinking I still want to have that connection, so I can use it to eventually get to the rat lich in time to kill him with the party aid. But I need to think this plan through more first.
Okay, sure. So, it's awkward. Well, it's not that awkward. People die in fantasy settings all the time. But, like, as you're weaving the magic into the cloak that has been weaved, that you're making, these thoughts go through your head of, like, how you need to get this lich out of your life and deal with him so this doesn't happen to you again. And as this happens, your skin, like, you watch your hands, they kind of, like, they go really pale. You're probably already pretty pale, but now you're, like dead body pale.
Okay.
You feel like sort of a like grim determination to get this task done because like this guy abused you pretty hard, and it's almost like coming back from the dead is always an ordeal, but the nature of how you were brought back because you were just you were undead and then like you were pulled out, it feels like a bit of the like undead, not legacy necessarily, but you understand, was brought with you, and you can add your intelligence bonus on all 3 of your saves.
Cool. So intelligence to all my saves. Got this. So
Yep.
anything else I should know about?
Not really.
Cool. That definitely will increase all my saves by a lot.
I imagined. So did Joe get back? Is Joe here?
Yes.
Yes.
I am.
Okay, so you had left. Irindel wants to know if you guys want to any further questions? Any further reason why you're loitering in his shop, essentially?
No, I don't even know why I'm here.
Well, let me put it to you in words you can understand. There was a bad thing in your brain that threatened to tear you apart, maybe take control of you, maybe rip you...
Yes, the split in personality that was inhabiting my brain. I understand it's a byproduct of the mutagen I had been using. You don't have to explain it to me. I fully understand what was going on.
It's a byproduct of a gate to the first world in your brain, and had it opened all the way, who knows what would have come out. In your brain, in this demiplane, in my shop.
Well, probably his brain.
Well, you didn't solve the entire problem, as there still seems to be a connection between my brain and his.
Unfortunately, that appears to be beyond my power. Fortunately enough for you, as long as you keep the captain in the vial, it shouldn't get any worse for you. Now, gentlemen, if there will be nothing else.
Josh, of course.
Zandu,
Enderling will take the vial.
Okay.
Yeah,
You
I'll
yet
hand
again
it
have
over.
an adamantine vial in your inventory. This time it contains a very small, angry fae that is your alternate personality.
Hey, before we go anywhere on the material plane, Pogue's been thinking when he goes back, he wants to get near his ashes.
Okay, got it.
Zandu will
I figured you had them.
thank Irindel and Arendelle.
You're welcome. I'll offer a hug.
Irindil
You
rolls his
will,
eyes.
Zandu will he doesn't have any more intel that might be applicable, so he'll step out of the shop.
Okay.
See you later,
Bye.
Doc.
Joe?
Yeah, I'll leave.
Okay.
I probably already left.
Fair enough. So as the three of you go to leave, Irindil messages Xander, just, wait, fortune teller. I need to speak with you.
Zandu will stop immediately, suggest the others go on without him, and he'll catch up. And he will go back to Irindel's shop.
Alright, so you come in and the door like slams behind you and a bunch of locks start locking in really, really rapid motion, like from top to bottom.
Well,
He's gonna kill you.
This is when the koala turns into a demon.
Yep. Time for a hug! Where exactly did you find that thing?
You mean Enderling?
Yes. You know who I mean.
Well, I believe we met in a demiplane in an Imperial prison.
Now this story can only end well.
Fighting some death worms. That was where I met him, but I already showed you what happened in the caves, so you know what's going on with the Ouroboros.
I do. Look, the reason I needed to talk to you is I need you to be sure that thing doesn't drink the creature I just pulled from his brain. It's not, and he air quotes really hard, mutagen. None of these. And he pulls what, like, you assume is, like, a little bit of some of the potions that Enderling puts together. It's not his alchemical gear. And he, like, unstoppers one of the potions, drinks it, offers it to you. This is called ale. People drink it when they don't want to think anymore. I don't know what that thing is. I know he comes from a family of bar keeps, and perhaps he has some spark of magic about him, and if this is how he rationalizes that humans bore him, humans raise him, more, I don't care. More power to him. But I need you to be sure that he doesn't open the flask again.
I can do so, but what do you think would happen if he did?
The gate opens all the way, his body is discorporated, a random portal into the first world opens, more things like Captain Chaos emerge from the world, the Ulfin Ragnarok happens, we all die horribly. I don't know why he's important, I don't know what he is. Don't let him drink it. As far as the child goes, I will attempt to circumvent the barrier. I'll keep you informed.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Of course.
And... So, if I'm gathering what you're telling me correctly, you're suggesting that there's not just one end of the world coming, there are multiple possible outcomes.
I'm suggesting that it plays a role.
Religions.
That's the funny thing about religion, isn't it? They're all basically the same thing. You say Sarenrae, across the sea they say Shizuru. You say Desna, across the world they say Sukio. And don't get me started on the Vudrani.
Does Arendelle have the power of God and anime on his side?
Yes.
Oh, sweet.
Soon,
So,
darling.
the Dark Fae, I'm supposing, are just as dangerous in these times as the Div would be.
You assume. The world is coming to an end. Things that like to see the fall of humanoid kind appear. Things that like to sow, well, chaos, to put it one way, they appear. I'm sure we've only seen the beginning of it.
Tommy, while this is going on, with the conversations she had with Mufasa when it said the world coming to an end, did he say any specific outsider types Lucia could think of that would be doing that?
He looks totally unafraid.
Okay, so Lucia doesn't know what type of outsiders causing this exactly then.
Well, unless you have any further questions or information, I suppose that is all.
Indeed. He snaps his fingers, the door unlocks, like, really, really, really quickly. Thank you, as always, for choosing the Blue Cobalt Emporium for all your freeloading surgery needs. Do come back if you'd actually like to purchase something.
It's always nice to see you.
Yes, fortune teller.
You know, Zandu, I gotta check to see how much gold he has, because he might pay off Irindel.
Okay.
Because with him saying that, realizing, you know, he's given him a lot of free stuff.
All right.
He looks at him and goes, you know, what would cover the cost of that surgery, do you think? And as far as Emmy's as well.
Don't worry about it. We're doing it out of the goodness of our hearts.
Arendelle picks up the hat and shoves the homunculus into the hat. Followed by, like, all the rags and, like, socks and anything he can find. They can just, like, stuff that hat all the way full. How much would you be offering?
Well, I suppose at most, at the moment, I could afford to be 200 platinum.
Ah, I'm sure that would cover things quite nicely. He extends his hand.
Zandu will take out a coin purse and count out 200 platinum and hand it to him.
As you're counting, he's counting as well, and he like pulls out a little like set of scales, weighs everything really carefully. He makes a huge show out of making sure he's not getting screwed over now that money's actually like literally on the table. Thank you as always for choosing the Blue Cobalt Emporium. Now I'm quite sure we can speed along your friend's recovery process. We'll let you know.
Alright, Zandu nods and he heads out.
Alrighty, so Enterling, Captain Chaos takes over when would you drink your mutagen, but it's definitely less powerful, and you're carrying him around. He's actively like, you don't have like the haunted curse like an oracle who's constantly having like arrows fly around, but it's kind of like that. He's constantly just like banging around in your inventory trying to get let free. Mechanically, his presence in your mind is severely diminished, and as such, when things go bad, Enterling is able to retain control. So what we're going to do for level 8 is you no longer have... I had looked up what the ability is called. That when you take damage, you have to make a will save, or you take a bunch of like wisdom damage and stuff. That is no longer a thing. You were able to maintain control of yourself when you drink your mutagen.
Woo!
Now let's go. We haven't heard from the little one in a while. Let's where's Pogue at? What's Pogue doing?
Little one, that's me.
Nope, that's Pogue.
That's Pogue. Pogue's just wondering what the hell is going on with people out of their mind, but considering Enderling's pretty scary when he's in his right mind, he's been focusing on talking to the Imperial soldier and wanting to get, the latest news of the Empire and what's been going on there and that kind of thing, because, Pogue's thinking about, already thinking about going back to Casimir and what's going on.
Sure. Okay. Well, you learn that the soldier's name is I'll put it in the chat because I'll say it and put it in the chat because he has a really long, awkward Latin name. His name is Lieutenant Maxientus Andronicus Paulus. What he says is he's not lying to you on any front, and there's several other former Imperial soldiers running around on the material plane that have been redeemed. They've all they have left the army when they realized that they're going to get sacrificed to Div, and they got that one chance at redemption and they took it. Maxientus doesn't really know what's going on in the Empire. He knows that, like, the cult of the Dawnflower is bad, and they'll capture you and sacrifice you, and everything is bad, and we have to go stop them, but that's all he's got, really. He knows also that there's something going on in Opara right now. He knows that a group of nobles from Cheliax has recently arrived in the city, and since they've arrived, there haven't been a whole lot of orders gone out. It's almost kind of like the military is like ground to a standstill. The whole it's been spread that the cult of the Dawnflower is the one summoning Div, and they've been called heretics, it's been spread that it was the satrap that summoned the Div, and so they've been like cut off from the Empire. They're all just a bunch of heretics and stuff, and the Empire's not going to help them. But Maxientus, he suspects that it's because something else is going on at the Empire's western border, because all of the provinces are starting to fracture off at once, and what was once the largest land empire on Galarion is just kind of falling in on itself.
So like Cheliax and stuff?
Cheliax remains its own not independent nation, its own like independent client state of the Empire, but like just all the other like Kadira and like where the elves used to live and the dwarves and even up towards like the river kingdoms, places like that.
Okay.
Andoran is really, really, really close to the Chelish border. There's a little bit of talk of stuff going on there, like less rebellion and more just like dissidents rioting. But they're very aware of their western front, so they don't do anything too crazy.
They're aware of the Western Front, so they're not doing too much crazy down in Kadira.
They're
Or
not
just
doing
period?
anything like in Andoran itself.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So they're trying not to draw too much attention, but
Yeah, because then Cheliax would invade and they'd crush them.
okay.
By next session, I'll have a map of what the world looks like now that you guys are aware of it. It's been this way for like 15 sessions, but you guys have been off running around. And thus you had no idea.
So does he know? Does he have any rumors or anything about the troublemakers in Andoran?
Roll me some percentage dice.
Okay. Oh, there's no skill for that.
Yeah, it's just D100. He does, again, like, people want to revolt, people want to rebel there, but to make a quick, dumb map, like, here you guys are. Here's Kadira, and then Taldor is, like, up here, and then Andoran, and, like, there's a couple other provinces here. I know, oh god, I know exactly what that looks like, that's bad! Oops.
I was gonna say something, Thomas.
That's not there. We'll delete. Goodbye, Taldor. Goodbye. Regardless, I didn't mean to do that.
We are currently on the Kadira map still.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
Good. Then you guys didn't
Indeed.
get to see the penis. You guys can see half of it. There used to be a line.
Okay.
No, there were two lines.
Regardless, Cheliax is like over here. And
Right.
it's blah, 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 blah. Yeah.
Okay, good to know what you're thinking at the moment, Tommy.
Yep. I ran right into that. It's good to know what Paizo was thinking when they made it. But yeah, it'd be a war on two fronts. They don't want to.
Right. Okay. And is
War on
it
two
spelling
fronts, you
over?
say?
How is Casimir holding up?
Casimir is the biggest naval settlement in the entire empire. Again, I said
He knows that.
there's no like it's like you live in Arizona. If Phoenix rebels from the Union, DC's probably fine. That kind of thing.
What?
Did that make no sense? You asked how they were holding up.
All right. So Casimir, the trouble in Andoran isn't there's no people fomenting unrest in Andoran or anything. I mean, not in Andoran,
Casimir?
in Casimir.
If they are, they're just gonna get ground under.
Oh, okay.
So while this is going on, wherever you guys are at, Theodora like turns the corner, and she just, I need to speak with you, Pogue.
What?
Come
What?
here
Why?
now, please.
Yes, Dad. What is it?
She like, you guys are in a bar, and she kind of like leaves the like frame of the door and turns around. You follow her out, and as you turn the corner, Theodora's gone, and Nira stands there, except half of her face is still, like, really burnt. Like, as if she had just, like, walked out of a fire, and her face was, like, actively, like, melted off. But nevertheless, like, she still looks just like you remember her in all of her, like, glory and beauty, and make a will save.
Wait, I'm lost. What did you say about Nira?
Yeah, you turn the corner and Nira's there. Make a will save.
Make a will save.
Yeah.
Got it. Can I make it like a reflex save or something?
Not everything in the world has evasion. That does fail. Again, despite the fact that half of Nira's face is burnt horribly and disfigured, you find her the most beautiful thing in the world, and as she like spreads her arms out to embrace you, you feel compelled to just like run into her arms and hold her forever and ever, never to let go.
Give her a hug.
You're not there.
What?
I know.
We're done with that NPC now.
But it was opportune. Good opportunity.
Yeah, maybe a little bit, but still.
it was well played.
Is it an entirely different Debbie? Just runs out of the blue kobold, jumps through a gate, hug, runs back in.
I'm so glad to see you, my dear. Lovely. I'm hugging her.
And you're convinced that it's her. You don't know what happened. You don't know how, what, who, but it's definitely that's her.
How did you get back? I mean, how are you? Wait, I burned your body.
It's a long story. Don't worry about that right now. I'm so tired of all this fighting. I'm going back to my home. I want this war to be over. But I can't stay here and help end it. Will you make another will save? Will you just... We need to get your friends to stop fighting. They have all these weapons and they're gonna hurt each other and they're only making the problem worse. The will save does fail, and you think that as she continues to go on about how, like, all this fighting is bad and all these people have all this money that they're spending on weapons and armor and all this magic stuff that's making them stronger, and that's what the problem is, that if nobody, be it your friends or a stupid fat halfling or imperial soldiers, had all this stuff, if it was just like thrown in the sea never to be seen again, things might get a little better.
So this doesn't sound like you.
You think it does, though?
No, I mean, like, in terms of her. Look, I'm trying to pretend. I'm trying to pretend I believe.
Fair enough. Okay.
You know, you said I know you were tired of the fighting, but you said you would keep fighting as long as you were alive, but no more. But now that you're alive again, why are you telling us not to fight anymore? And what is this about throwing? I mean, I'm amazed you're back, and it's amazing. It's wonderful, but what about throwing stuff in the ocean, the sea? What?
Look, it's complicated. Just do what I say, and you are compelled to do so.
So what am I telling people to do?
Don't tell them anything. They're not gonna understand. Okay, this is just me and you. No one else is gonna get it. Look, just give me my armor back. Give me my sword back. I'll take them where nobody can find them again. I'll come talk to you when we need to talk again. But for now, just make sure that all of these powerful weapons and stuff, just people are gonna get hurt. Make sure that doesn't happen.
Is Xandu arriving at about this time at all? Back from?
He might be. As Xandu turns the corner, Mira just kind of disappears. Pogue doesn't think that actually, Xandu turns the corner. Look, don't tell anyone I'm still alive. It's really important. This is just me and you. Don't tell anyone else, okay? Promise me.
Am I actually under compulsion, or?
You are, yeah.
Okay.
Alright, I have to go. And she teleports as Xandu turns the corner.
Is this another one of those DM or GM magic?
No, this is a spell.
Okay.
Does Xandu have any idea? Did he see anything?
You did not. You turn the corner and there's Pogue. Pogue probably looks a little weird.
Hey, Xandu, what's up? What's up, man?
You're acting strange, Pogue. Just a minute ago, you were all upset. You were angry with everybody, and now, what happened?
Xandu can make a sense about it.
which means I need to.
There's a set DC involved. You don't have to bluff right
Oh,
now.
okay. Good.
Okay, yeah, Xandu, Pogue is under a really, really powerful compulsion. He's acting weird because, like, somebody is directly, well, not directly mind controlling him, but that's, like, you get the feeling you just missed that.
Ah. I suppose Xandu will detect magic and see if there's any sort of scrying aura or divination aura that's there
Okay.
along with the compulsion and the enchantment.
Make a will save.
Make a will save?
Yeah, it's
Oh, boy.
there's a very, very powerful compulsion on him, and it's so powerful that it, like, backlashes in your face.
Oh boy. And there's no way a compulsion is not mind affecting.
Yeah, yeah. But this is the specific DC for, like,
So
like
that's a
to
33.
resist. This is not the DC versus it. This is the DC to resist that you've cast detect magic, and here's something that's too powerful for your brain
Oh,
to comprehend.
gotcha.
But you pull back. It's like you begin detecting magic. Just, oh, he's got some kind of compulsion on. Oh no! And you close the connection really fast before it would, like, throw you on your butt, basically.
Yeah, Xandu probably looks slightly wide-eyed, like, whoa, what just happened? But
Hey, are you okay? You don't look good. I mean, I know I was upset, but everything that's water under the bridge. I mean, we got to move forward. We got to move forward with life, and we are gonna, we got to learn to get along at some point here. At some point, the war's going to be over, and the sooner the better, if you ask me. And I think that, I need to get back to spreading the love of Calistria.
Xandu will nod and say, I do suppose that is fair. I am tired of fighting too, but I suppose I have to keep going.
Why is that? I mean, why not just get along with the other side? I mean, this is almost over. Why don't we just offer them grace and move on?
Xandu will say, I do suppose there is always a possibility of grace for anyone. But he is being very, very careful to not actively lie so that he doesn't have to make a bluff check.
Fair enough.
Well, where are the others? I guess we should round them up and get going on with our lives. And I think I still think we should discuss going to Casimir, but maybe instead of fomenting unrest, what we should really look at how we can bring the people together. It'll be good to see home again.
I do suppose that perhaps you could go to Casimir and I could return to my proper home. That would be nice, wouldn't it?
Real quick, let's have Xandu make a sense motive check. Or not sense motive, knowledge arcana, rather.
What'd you say?
Make a knowledge arcana check, please.
Gotcha. Whoopah.
Okay, so you know, if there's been a really powerful compulsion spell cast on Pogue, in theory, probably, assuming that the person or individual or thing that cast it is evil, protection from evil would break it for as long as protection from evil lasts, and for you that is 8 minutes.
Okay. So then it will say, then it'll look at Pogue and go, you know, perhaps if you are going to be returning home, it would be best if you had a blessing of some sort. And he will cast protection from evil on him.
So there's nothing specifically in Pogue's, like in this compulsion to make him resist that. So it
What?
resolves. There's nothing specifically in the compulsion that was cast that would cause Pogue to like try to resist that to attack you or to make a will save, so it resolves.
Okay. It's good to know.
Okay. So what do I know? What can I say?
You know everything and can say, well, not everything. You know everything that happened and can say everything.
Pogue knows all.
Zandu.
The mighty Pogue.
Zandu, somebody who looks like Nira, but with half her face burned off. She's telling me that she's back and we need to throw all her weapons in the ocean, and she wants her armor and all that stuff. Take it away quickly so that I can't give it to her. And somebody please keep an eye on me and make sure that they don't come back and get me. She wants to quit, and she wants to go back to Mira's hometown. Is what she does. And then she teleported away, and I couldn't stop, and I don't know what's.
While Pogue is doing this, Zandu will cast message on him and basically say, you know, there might be divination magic as well. We should be as subtle in our communications as possible.
Okay.
It resolves.
So Pogue. So can I just
Pogue can continue talking, but it'll be through message.
Okay. So and mentally, Pogue says that asks what he did to. And it says, no, don't tell me what you did, because then I'll have to tell whoever I'm in compulsion to. But what's going to happen if there's a spell, if you put a spell on me and it's up, what happens then? Do I go back to the compulsion?
Yeah, both Zandu and Pogue know that when protection from evil expires, he'd go right back to being under the compulsion until the compulsion expires.
So is there anything you can tell me, do to my head to help me snap out of the compulsion, or let me check what is being told to me to do that can help shake me out of it?
That is a good question, but I got something good.
All right.
Zandu is going to cast aversion on Pogue so that whenever he said he saw his former love, correct?
Right.
So he's basically going to give Pogue an aversion to that same person. So if this someone who's trying to control him is taking that form to cast this spell again, he will be compelled to stay away.
Okay.
And you can elect to fail that save. because like it's a friend targeting a friend.
Definitely. Yes.
And that lasts for 1 day per level.
Okay, so while this is all going on, back at the demiplane, Francis's family, like as Francis is meandering, they kind of like the day ends. They no longer have to be out tending the fields, and they realize that you're here, and they all kind of just rush over to you and big like, "Oh, have you been? How's the war going? Oh Lord, you're a mess."
Lord.
Brushing your hair and stuff. Lots of aunts and uncles giving you big hugs, and like a bunch of little kids grabbing you by the knees.
Francis tries his best not to be emotionally overwhelmed.
All right, fair enough. They who is in? I don't remember any of them. There's so many of them. One of them's name is his name doesn't matter. Just, why don't you come back to where we're staying? We'll make you a nice supper like back in the day. And before you were able to respond, the crowd agrees, and they begin just kind of like pushing you. Like the pit is going that direction, you're going that direction, or you're trampled. You get there relatively quickly, and whatever it is that Francis likes to eat the best has been prepared in excess. Everyone is just really happy to see you. What's going on out there? We hear tell of some kind of demons or something. We're all very worried about you, Francis.
Well, divs, they're not exactly demons.
What's a div?
Exactly.
Nice.
And they continue to just go on and on about like all these just millions of questions and millions of rumors that they've picked up throughout like their time sitting here cultivating a desert that has places for plants now. And amidst all this, eventually, like halfway through the meal, there's a little tug at Francis's robes, and you look down, and your niece Deneb is there. Her like army of will-o-wisps that aren't will-o-wisps, just like flashy blue lights, has like increased like 20-fold in such a way that she's her own like light show anywhere she goes. Just, hi, Francis.
Good. Green. Hello, dear.
I hear. Well, she's Irish. I hear it's scary out there.
Terrifying little Irish girl.
Where'd the little blue-haired lady go? She was nice.
A blue-haired lady?
Referring to
Nira, Pogue's girlfriend.
Yeah.
The one that got
I didn't
chopped
know
in
she had
half
blue
and
hair.
burned.
Okay, I'm bad with.
No, that's all right.
Colors.
You're bad with gnomes.
Are you colorblind?
No.
We've learned something about Cain today. But yeah, there she is. There's her token. Rest in peace.
Oh.
Or not, GM.
Yeah, haha.
Dun dun dun. Oh, it's gone.
Where'd the blue-haired lady go, Francis?
Oh dear. Nira unfortunately passed during a battle.
Oh Lord! Oh no! And she starts freaking out.
Dear, it's all right. It's part of the cycle, dear. It's I can explain it later.
But what if that happens to you or little Oleg? Oh little Oleg, come here! And she runs, and she's probably about as tall as Oleg is, and well, Oleg's size category small, right? Before I just shoot my mouth off here.
Yeah, he's small.
Okay, he's not like a house cat. Oh Lord, I'm a very small child. She just dives into Oleg, and as this happens, a bunch of these glowy blue lights kind of enter his being in rapid fire succession. He begins convulsing, and as he starts convulsing, the vines that make him up, they thicken, and more of them come out and wrap themselves to make much thicker, stronger vine structure. Essentially, he probably grows about 6 inches.
That's what she said.
In one shot, just.
Every time I come here, this little girl fucks up my child.
Well, now, I can't do anything for you, but my friends say that this will help Oleg from dying. But you have to be careful out there. None of us are any near well as powerful as you, and And I was hoping maybe one day you could teach me to be just like you, Francis.
Oh,
Adorable.
Well,
you did that a little too well.
when we were when she was talking earlier, there was sort of the knee-jerk reaction to respond the way that the woodsman who taught him would have said it, and he almost just said, "Well, we all die."
Oh, okay.
He gets up from where he's sitting and he walks over to her and he kneels down. He puts his hand on the top of her head. He says, "It's very sweet of you, dear. You know what? When this is all over, and it will be over, one way or another, if that's what you really want, I can do that for you."
Okay. And she begins like making like happy dancing noises, and Oleg begins to make these happy dancing
Maybe
noises
talk
too.
to your parents about it first, though.
Oh.
I'm not going to be whisking you off away from home the way that it happened to me.
I guess I understand. And she looks like all the like happy like la 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 dancey little child noises that she's making. They just turn oh. But as she's doing them, Oleg is echoing them. But you notice Oleg's Studio Ghibli noises have dropped an octave. Instead of
His balls have dropped. Watch out!
He's a little man.
and mechanically, he has a +5 increase to his natural armor and DR10 over cold iron now.
Good lord.
Because you said you wanted him to be less squishy. I don't know what I'll do with improved familiar, but a bigger leshy, perhaps, if you were willing to take that, like something like a tree leshy. I don't know. That's just a tree.
Yeah, well, we've got all the way till 9th level to figure that out.
But what I'm saying is hopefully that kind of like solves that problem for a little while.
Oh no, absolutely.
As this dinner is going on, the protection from evil is about to expire back on the material plane.
Yeah, Zandu has made sure to get the weapons from Pogue and get out of Pogue's sight with them beforehand.
Okay, like his weapons, like his gear.
No, just Mira's stuff.
Okay, got it.
And what he's going to do is he's going to take them to Mercutio and explain what happened and say that Pogue cannot get his hands on these. You have to keep these safe. And whoever is controlling Nira cannot get their hands on these. These have to stay where they are.
And what are you talking about? I was there when we buried Nira's ashes. Except for the ones Pogue has, I think he said.
Right.
That girl is very dead.
There was some kind of enchantment spell was put on Pogue. Perhaps someone assumed her form. But whoever they are, they want her weapons. And I think we should deprive them of that.
I certainly agree. Oh, get all of you together. I'm gonna go back up to Ederling's bar. I'll talk about it there. I don't know what's going on with you people. We'll figure it out up there. And he kind of just like waddles back to where his dog is nearby, finds the saddle. The Stavian is not happy and draconic again as it just kind of like makes its way towards the envy. It probably like, unless anyone is just like, no, I'm not going there. A little bit of time passes.
I refuse.
Make a will save.
What? No.
Make a will save.
I've already cast one compulsion today. You guys all 2 or 3 hours pass, we'll say. It gets pretty late as you guys all arrive back at the Envy. Mercutio is joined by he's joined by Mustafa. And Mustafa, like, he puts his hand on Pogue's head and he rolls a d20 and he adds his caster level. And he'll see, he's gonna try to cast Dispel Magic. It succeeds.
Nice.
The compulsion is wiped from Pogue.
That also gets rid of the aversion as well.
It's a Dispel Magic can
it's only
target.
one spell.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
not just a complete wipe. It's just he chooses that one.
Got it.
Mustafa, like, he looks really uncomfortable as he's here and he sees Lucian, and he reaches for his sword, thinks better of it, steps out the door, and then with a poof of fire, he disappears. Alright, guys. Now, if you really want to go to Casimir, the truth is we could use the information. I'm not lying, going to the butthole of the Empire is probably the easiest way you guys have ever come up with to get yourselves killed. But if you want to do it, I ain't gonna stop you. He lifts up his left hand, and as he does so, Pogue's wasp lands on Mercutio's like outstretched palm. He says something in a language that there's a druid in the party. He says like just a quick prayer in druidic, and the wasp kind of like hums really fast in such a way that like it starts to shake and its body looks like it's gonna like split apart, and then it goes back together. We've been working on this one for a while now. We can't teleport anybody through the Empire. They've got a shield up. It'd be like running into a brick wall going as fast as you can. You're gonna splatter yourself. But there's small enough holes that small enough creatures such as this could get through it, and maybe this can help you out a little bit. And now mechanically, as like this wasp flies back, in addition to it being R2D2, it can cast greater teleport on itself at will, but it can only target itself.
Wasp can cast greater teleport at will, but only on itself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That is pretty useful.
Yeah.
It can help us scout out around the Empire. Maybe it can solve all those questions that you guys have. Maybe it can solve the questions I have. But I need to know, we're attacking Kathir in the morning. Are you guys with us? Or are you guys going off to play Navy Boar?
I'd rather have us go to Cassia.
That's one vote for Kathir.
I will go to Kathir, but only if we can play Navy Boy afterward.
That's
Me too.
3.
So it was.
Casimir or Kathir?
They sound too similar.
They do.
Pogue has chimed in that he's willing. It's just another day to fight at Kathir, and then he wants to. Then he wants to go back to Casimir.
Okay, Mauricio nods. 3 votes for. Go ahead, Joe.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
One second. I'm kind of burpy and hiccupy.
There's just a lot of gases going in and out.
A lot of gases. There's a lot of combination flowing through.
It's a lot of Oreos, Cheerios.
Yeah, something, I don't know. A lot of beer.
Who here would eat Oreos, Cheerios?
Not me.
I would. Fucking shit, that sounds
Are
delicious.
you kidding?
I had them,
It's,
they weren't
it's Milk's favorite cookie.
Right. Oh my god.
My pancreas
Put
hurts.
some honey on that shit and some nuts. I'm down. Honey Nut Oreo Cheerios.
You know
Whoever
they
fucking
make them.
owns Oreos, you contact them. You get on the phone right now.
You call me
$1 million
right now.
idea.
I need that money
Oreos
for
will make
school.
any Oreo cookie in any flavor. They
I
got
even
like
cared.
Jello flavored Oreos.
That sounds disgusting.
That sounds disgusting. Call me about the Cheerios. Alright, the Kellogg's. I need a
Peeps
call.
flavored. Peeps
You gotta
flavored.
pay for my schooling. That way I can use my extra money to pay for magic.
Okay, so really though, 3 votes.
Yeah, no. What's the most pressing order thing? Most pressing objective.
Well,
There's
once
a
we
battle
run everybody
tomorrow.
out of Kathir, that's Kadira taken in the name of this glorious revolution. And again, the banner just flies
Oh, man.
patriotically.
Is it red?
Nope, it's blue.
Does he have a Fu Manchu? The beginnings of a Fu Manchu? Is he bald?
Nope. He has the beginnings of really sweet mutton chops.
Xandu
Nice.
is bald, however.
So he's Irish Lenin.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh,
I
man.
guess my vote goes to Kathir if it has to be done.
Alrighty. So that's majority rule.
Yeah,
Next-
Xandu definitely nods. He's more interested in going to Kathir than
Then Casimir.
the Death Trap, the butthole of
probably
the
with-
Empire.
Siding with Enderling because he has the most sound logic, and I'm not really like compelled to do anything at the moment because I'm still grieving. So I'm just
Well, so Pogue says, For the record, I think the dumbest, most suicidal idea I ever had was to go and rescue these people out of a demi-plane dungeon with you. Remember that? And then it says, and quit calling my hometown a butthole. It may be a butthole, but it's my butthole.
I think we
Crucio
should
looks
plunge
very
that butthole
disgusted.
one way or another.
It does float a lot of browns, doesn't it?
With all the conversation going on, this actually cheers Lucia attitude up a bit, seeing Paul react to all this comment on his town.
Good.
Just laughing at the word butthole, man.
Well, Lucia
So
was
mature.
so Lucia was mentally down in the dump, and then she is now back to her normal happy self now.
We
So
did it. So I got everybody's level 8 stuff, didn't I? Yeah, I did. I hit everybody.
Yep.
Ooh, that might be, now that we have a definitive, that is what's happening next session. Does anybody have anything else they want to do before we wrap up?
Yes.
Well,
Let me do it really quick.
You know, Zandu's probably gonna take Mustafa aside and
I don't know why that's active.
ask him to keep an eye on what's going on at the Blue Cobalt Emporium with his daughter, just to make sure nothing fishy goes down, or Irundel or Arundel decide to go crazy and do something stupid.
okay, Mustafa's not here, but Mercutio.
Yeah, he
Well,
can-
kid. Arundel's a little weird. He likes to cut people up and experiment on them, is where he gets his power. But I don't think he's gonna cut up a child for no reason. As long as you, pointing at everybody in the party, don't piss him off somehow, I think you're fine.
So are we leaving in the morning?
Yeah, it would be
Okay, then just to speed things along, I would probably had the NPC item maker and my imp work together to finish off Zandu's cloak.
understood.
So I just need to roll the imp spellcraft. It should be easy to beat the number.
I believe in you.
So yeah, beat
that beats it.
beat the number, and then the NPC item maker. The DC is 18 to beat.
Okay, understood.
So if it's just calculate what the number would be roughly. Then
Oh, yeah, that's right. Which NPC is this? I'm sorry, I'm brain farting.
it's the item NPC. It's the item maker NPC I got in from Mercutio to help us out in making magic items.
Oh, I was under the influence, or the under influence. I was under the impression that the only NPC you had was Yarva. That was the only person.
was under the influence.
Okay, so were there any other item makers in camp that can help make this cloak to get it done quicker for Zandu?
You'd need to pay them, but yeah.
Okay, sure. I pay them about 100 gold to get the cloak done
They
in
ask
the day for
they ask for full crafting prices. Well,
Okay, so
they ask for half crafting prices. I'll say, yeah, I like that better.
Okay, let's see. I don't really want to. So half. So that would be like 500 gold to get the cloak done then.
Mm-hmm.
For the rest of the day. Okay.
Wasn't the imp able to take care of it? I thought the imp.
Yeah, the imp made some progress, but if you're going to have it the next day, you need to pay someone to work on the cloak a bit more. So I'm just going to be nice and pay someone to finish off the rest of the cloak, so then you can have it the next day. The things I do for my party members.
Things you do for your friends. What's Joe doing with that craft alchemy check?
I was gonna see if I could make Captain Enderling into a failure, a tumor failure.
Mm-hmm.
Can I make him a pig?
you could, like, you go to unstopper the bottle, and then, like, Xandu, it clicks in his head, like, he shouldn't open that bottle. Don't let him open that bottle. Just, like, everything that Arundel said just runs through Xandu's head. Technically, yes, you could, but it would
What's happening? I can't. You're cutting out much.
Really? Wow, that sucks. I'm not cutting out on OBS. That's weird.
But yeah, because that's live and that's picking you up with, like, analog no internet connection.
Weird. Is my internet connection tanking?
So,
That is strange.
yes. OBS is local for you, so.
Yeah, but my internet connection's fine too. Oh
It's
well.
having a good time.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just probably need to talk slower. Enderling goes to, like, unstopper the flask because he thinks that he can make Captain Chaos into a pig familiar, and then Xandu realizes, or he remembers, that Arundel said, "Don't let Enderling open the flask for any reason."
Okay, so
Oh, okay.
Xandu, let's make sure I have enough spell slots left for this because I've been casting spells kind of generously today.
Kane, I think it was you that wanted the cloak done, so just add it to your inventory now.
Nice.
Yes, it took
Nice.
it took like 8. I think it took like 15 sessions to get that single cloak made.
Xandu's trying to stop a terrible, terrible thing from happening, and Lucia's like, "Oh, I made you a little cloak for your back."
It looks like a bear.
Wait, is Pogue there? Does he know what's going on?
Yeah, Pogue probably realizes that now that Pogue sees there's a thing bouncing around in a flask, it's probably bad for Enderling to open it, yeah.
So what Xandu's going to do is he's going to use that same spell he casts on Pogue, Aversion, and cast that on Enderling for the bottle. So that Enderling wants to just, like, toss the bottle away from him.
Okay, so it sounds like Enderling
Get
needs
away
to
from
go
it as
safe.
much
Sounds
as
like I
possible.
need to toss the salad.
Yes.
So that's 19,
Wait till we
20.
get to Casimir, Enderling.
Blah.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so it looks like Enderling fails. So
Yeah,
I'll
so-
say for the next 8 days, you are compelled to not try to not unstopper the flask, because if he tosses it away, like
To not what?
to not unstopper the flask,
Yeah.
Can Pogue grab it?
you can, yeah. It's just it's about it not falling into, like, the hands of a child of, oh, what's in the flask? Oops!
Grab
Yeah.
it and make a
Oh
wish.
Oh Lord!
Stop
The point
trying to
is
give
that-
dangerous magical artifacts to my family members.
Lord!
Here, girl, hold this. That don't-
Yeah,
It's
so
like Captain
Enderling
Chaos for you.
definitely compelled to stay away from Captain Chaos's flask.
I mean, you can, if that's what you want to do, you can, but, like,
Well, it'd be better if it was just like to prevent him from unstopping it, but I didn't know how that would work mechanically. Like, if you're gonna let it
I got you.
slide, then yeah.
Yeah.
Pogue will take it.
Okay.
No, don't unstop it, Pogue.
Anybody else have anything to do before we wrap it up?
Nope.
Alrighty, in that case, well, that was just Colin. Colin's done, guys. We have to go. In that case,
I'm gonna see if I can get a hold of my master again and be like, how the fuck do you take a druidic apprentice?
all right, you're able to scry him, and he just he is continuing to walk south through a forest, is what you see. He is like
I that's what I ask him.
he
Or
just
perhaps not in that exact wording, but
he looks up and he just kind of like looks back in front of him and keeps walking.
He's angry.
Or he has
I
no
mean-
means of talking through the scry.
do I make a deal with my own family to escort them out of the demiplane and then turn into a bear and chase them through the woods? 'Cause, I mean, that seemed to work pretty good for you.
He continues just walking on.
All right, good talking to you. It's always nice to
But
see
do you
you.
know where? Well, you know where he is, right? You want to
Yeah.
send a message with a wasp?
Hmm?
That could be done, yeah.
You want to send
Yeah.
a message with a wasp?
Yeah, we could try that.
Yeah, talk to the wasp.
All right, so
I don't know how to word this. So it turns out one of my nieces is very talented with plant spirits, much the same way that I am, but like way better. You know how I'm good at it? She's like, she makes me look like garbage. And she asked me if she could be my apprentice, and I know that I need some sort of special approval from someone to initiate another druid into the circle, and I don't know how to do that, and I was thinking maybe you knew how to do that, and you could tell me how to do that.
This message, to send this message, press 1. If you would like to re-record the message, press 2.
1.
I am picturing. Trying to picture how do they druid train their apprentice? Whether it's go to their academies, whether it's go to academies. Fighters train in where fighters generally train. Clerics go to temples. So would
Druids go to temples too? A druid is just a nature cleric.
Druids
go to the goddamn national park.
Yeah.
So would druids go to a forest for their training?
Yes, druids take
in the woods,
out
man.
into the.
They pray to the god Theodore Roosevelt.
Okay, that is something I can improve. I can approve of.
The only way to graduate is to ride out of the woods on a bull moose.
Bullet!
And then yell the word bully pulpit at the top of your lungs. Just bully pulpit! As loud as you can.
Alright, so the wasp goes flying off, blinks off, and shoo.
Alright. The message is sent, the wasp blinks back, and again, R2D2 style, the image of Francis's former teacher is boop out onto the ground. We'll talk about it when I get there. The message ends.
Huh.
He's never been a man of many words.
No, he's not. That's probably the most words he's spoken to me since I left.
I'm curious. So, would druids have orders based upon what type of natural clothing they're wearing?
Oh yeah, for sure.
There are ape shamans and bird shamans.
And Francis is a Order of the Leaf, and I play an orc on Tuesdays, and he's Order of the Fang, and everywhere in between.
Cool. Good to know that druids, you can identify what type of druid they are just by their outfit, just like wizards.
Yeah, druids actually, for druids, Francis is actually wearing dark leaf armor.
Oh, there you go. Does anybody else have anything they need to do before we call it a night tonight? Going once. Going twice.
Having a good time.
Having a good time. All right, guys. As always, be sure to like and subscribe for more videos, and we'll see you next time. Say bye, guys.
Bye, guys. Bye.
Now, somebody make the Christmas Story soundtrack. I don't know how it goes.
Yeah, I don't have it. You're gonna have to add it in post, man.
Damn it!
This is on you.
I know that this is the Home Alone theme.